What is this? Washington AP former President Donald Trump asked Supreme Court to step in the legal fight in Mar-a-Lago classified documents probe. Okay, I'm not going to do the XQC thing yet. All right, let's get to the main story of today, okay? Georgia GOP Senate candidate Herschel Walker, former Bulldog Herschel fucking Walker, going up against radical liberal Raphael Warnock. A lot of memes there. Obviously, we've been keeping close attention to that race. And he's perhaps one of the worst people that you could have put up to that position against Raphael Warnock. And yet, this man who can't even put, 3 sentences together without saying some absolutely insane, unhinged shit is now under some hot water.
Now, and with the midterm elections just weeks away, a major shakeup in Georgia's Senate race. Republican candidate Herschel Walker, who backs an abortion ban, is denying report that he paid for an abortion over a decade ago. Congressional correspondent Rachel Scott has the latest.
Let me hear Herschel Walker, come on!
This morning, Georgia Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker denying an explosive report by the Daily Beast, alleging the candidate who opposes abortion not only encouraged his then-girlfriend in 2009 to get an abortion herself, but paid for the procedure. The former NFL player quickly denied the allegations, tweeting, "This is a flat-out lie, and I deny this in the strongest possible terms." The Daily Beast says the woman, who asked not to be identified for privacy reasons, provided a receipt she says is from the clinic, a get well card she said was from the Heisman Trophy winner, and an image of a check that appears to be from Walker for $700. Overnight on Fox News, Walker claimed it was a political attack.
I never asked anyone to get an abortion. I never paid for an abortion.
He said he sends money to a lot of people.
Do you know the woman that is making this allegation?
I have no idea, but it is a flat-out lie.
And now one of Walker's sons blasting his father's decision to run for office. Christian Walker, an outspoken conservative with a large social media following, tweeted, "Every family member of Herschel Walker asked him not to run for office," saying that his father chose to air out all of his dirty laundry in public while simultaneously lying about it.
October be surprising once again, bro. This October surprise is an October nuclear surprise. Yeah, he did play football when the helmets were soft. That is not even a joke, really, but
And this could have big implications, George. This is a race that could determine which party controls the Senate, George.
Right, Rachel. I know you're going to be in Georgia this week for us for Power Trip. Thanks very much.
Well, hey there, G.
But yeah, here's the video. Is this PFD's brother?
This is a bombshell is an understatement. Republican.
Is this PFD's brother who fucking doesn't follow, who blocked me? I think so, right? This is PFT's brother who is a Daily Beast guy. I think so.
Who brushed off earlier reports from the AJC, from MSNBC and other outlets of Walker's history of violence, his erratic behavior, his lies, his exaggerations on the campaign trail. They're now very, very nervous about his midterm chances, not just because the Daily Beast alleges an act of brazen hypocrisy from a candidate who says he wants to support a total ban on abortion, but also because Herschel Walker's 23-year-old adult son has been so outspoken the last 2 days in condemning his father for running in the first place.
So you bring up his son. I do want to play a part of a video that he released just a couple of hours ago, doubling down essentially on what he tweeted out earlier. Let's watch that for just a moment, and then we'll talk.
He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them. He was out having sex with other women. Do you care about family values? I'm just saying, don't lie. Don't lie on my mom. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on the lives you've destroyed and act like you're some moral family man. Y'all should care about that, conservatives.
I don't. Okay, the unfortunate part of this is that he still has the same cadence where you're like, you can't really tell if he's trolling or not, but I know he's not trolling. But he is 100%. I mean, he's spilling the tea, okay? But it's like, it's just, he's done so much trolling that it's like hard to figure out what, I mean. It's hard to figure it out.
So at this point, Greg, it's not just this woman making these allegations, which have been verified by the Daily Beast. We here at NBC have not yet seen some of these documents to verify that. But then you have this coming from inside his own family. Wondering how Republicans are reacting to all of this.
Yeah, it's raw. It's hard to watch. And we're not sure the impact of what this might look like on the campaign trail. But we already knew, even before this, there's a significant number of Republicans, conservatives, who were skeptical of Herschel Walker's candidacy, who were either going to skip the vote, they were going to vote for Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock, or they're going to vote for Libertarian. That split ticket trend was showing up in polls from the AJC and other outlets even before this. And now we could start seeing Republicans more aggressively seek to distance themselves from Herschel Walker.
Anyway, here with reaction.
So one of the greatest things that you could do in this explosive moment, okay, is to probably have the guy who notoriously is unable to craft complete sentences without coming across completely unhinged, as he has demonstrable issues, right? Is to go up to fucking Sean Hannity's broadcast and defend himself. Here, we're gonna watch the full. We're gonna watch the full clip. Actually,
I stayed silent as the atrocities committed against my mom were downplayed. I stayed silent when it came out that my father, Herschel Walker, had all these random kids across the country, none of whom he raised. And you know my favorite issue to talk about is father absence. Surprise, because it affected me. That's why I talk about it all the time, because it affected me. Family values, people. He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them. He was out having sex with other women. Do you care?
I'm going to keep it real. I don't think conservatives will care about this, like, ultimately. I mean, it's a bit of a bombshell for sure, but, like, they don't even care that he can't craft full sentences. Like, they're like, oh, that's football, man. He's one of the good ones. And then that's it. Like, that's why they vote for him. You know what I mean? The only big reason why this is becoming like a real bombshell story and not just like liberal oppo research is because Christian Walker is a famous conservative broadcaster. Okay? That's the main reason. It's like, that is the actual unironic real reason why this became a real story. I think, and if I'm not mistaken, even like some conservative op-ed writers openly stated, like, we didn't really give a shit about the story until Christian Walker started coming out and talking about it. Because they were suppressing it regardless. It's supposed to matter in the primary. They have a candidate selection problem. Oh, it's Roger. Roger Sullenberger is the. Who said this was PFD's brother? Is this for real? Anyway. PFD's brother Eric died, R.I.P. It really is his brother, and his brother's a big-time Barstool and Portnoy hater as well. I mean, that part I understand, but he's a Hasan Abi hater too, which I don't understand. Anyway, PFD commenter is who we're talking about. Host of the Macro Dosing Podcast. He's a Barstool guy. I like him a lot. He's really funny. Anyway, where was that fucking tweet? I'm trying to figure it out. Was it one of those fucking op-ed writers? One of those op-ed writers actually wrote, tweeted out that like they didn't give a shit about this story until Christian Walker came out. Damn, I kept hoping you met Paul F. Tompkins. No. Anyway, PFT's too base for Barstool. No, it's good to have him at Barstool. You're crazy. Anyway, but isn't it common knowledge he's gay? What, Christian Walker? Yes, Christian Walker is gay, but that doesn't matter. Conservatives love him because conservatives love Christian Walker. Doesn't matter. They love that he's gay. They love that he's black. Okay? They love all that shit. Because, that's another point of tokenization for them to be like, hey, this guy is supposed to be a liberal, but he's not. Look at that. He is their I have a gay friend person, basically. I have a black friend who's gay person.
Care about family values? I was silent lie after lie after lie. The abortion card drops yesterday. It's literally his handwriting in the card. They say they have receipts, whatever. He gets on Twitter. He lies about it. Okay, I'm done. Done. Everything has been a lie. And so for the right to say I'm being suspicious for saying, hey, I'm done with the lies, when you all have been calling me saying, is this true about your dad? Gosh, we're not going to win Georgia, this candidate, all. That's been you. You have no idea what I've been through in my life. You have no idea what me and my mom have survived. We could have ended this on day one. We haven't. I haven't told any stories. I'm just saying, don't lie. Don't lie on my mom. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on the lives you've destroyed and act like you're some moral family man. Y'all should care about that, conservatives. And then for people on the left to act as though I'm responsible for all of the things that he has done. I've talked about Father Epps. I've talked all these issues because they've been close to me. Because they matter to me, because I went through it. That's why I've talked about it. So when you say, well, talk about your dad, but I'm saying this behavior is atrocious. Don't come for me. You don't have to like my politics. You don't have to like me. You don't have to. I'm just saying I'm done with the lies. We were told at the beginning of this, he was going to get ahead of his past, hold himself accountable, all of these different things, and that would have been fine. Go ahead. He didn't do any of that. Everything's been a lie. Everything's been downplayed. Everything's been cutting corners. The whole thing. And whose expense is that at? Me, my mom, as we're chased down by the media, we're terrorized, all these different things. People are questioning my authenticity. I'm done. Don't lie. Don't put this on me. This is a candidate issue, not a me issue. I wouldn't have spoken out if there weren't all these lies every day. I stayed.
Do you think Christian will go to the lib grift? I don't know. I mean, he's already popping off with the fucking conservative grift, so why would he go on the liberal grift? Everyone's a lib now. This is a very lib moment for him. Republicans don't mind lies. Yeah, but when your son, who is a famous conservative guy, comes out against you after building a major conservative following and then comes out against you and openly fucking tries to boulder your campaign, there's absolutely going to be some movement there. I mean, maybe not as big as you would think it is, right? But I'm not, I've spoken to nearly all of the people who have attacked me and told them quietly that I didn't want to be involved. Now they're blaming me for everything I'm not responsible for. It's disgusting.
And just two more things I have to address, and then I'm done with this buffoonery nutjob land. This is atrocious.
Christian isn't the same as Kellyanne Conway's daughter. Yeah, I mean, Kellyanne Conway's daughter was a minor and quite literally was a non-entity. We are talking about someone who is a famous person, famous within the political realm, okay? If Christian Walker came out and was like a random person, if he was not a... Man, y'all are so fucking annoying when you say famous in air quotes. You know what I mean. It's so fucking frustrating to have to literally like spoon feed everything to you like you're a fucking baby, chat. God damn it. Just because you've never heard of this person doesn't mean anything, okay? He is famous enough in the conservative speaker circuit, okay? Shut the fuck up. Motherfuckers in the chat are like 35 holding on to a job, working from home with a child on the way, going goo goo gaga, feed me my information in the way I like it. He's a fucking public figure. He is a conservative public figure, okay? That's the reason why this is important.
People on the right are pulling up that I did a campaign event with my dad last year. They're saying, well, you supported them all last year and all this year. You look suspicious. No. You all have been calling me saying, why aren't you on the campaign trail with your dad? Why aren't you helping him out? This looks weird. You should go help him. And I've said to you calmly, I'm not getting involved.
Conservatives love Trump. Yeah, bro, but Trump is different. Like, what do you not understand? If Trump's son all of a sudden fucking turned on him, right, after this many years, if Donald Trump Jr., who is now a famous person within the conservative circuit, turned on him and was like, I'm spilling the fucking tea, you think that's not going to impact Donald Trump? Are you out of your fucking mind? And Donald Trump is infinitely more popular within the conservative movement than Herschel Walker was, because Herschel Walker has no skin in the game. He just came out of fucking nowhere. He was just a famous person who was a Georgia Bulldog, so they were like, all right, let's put him there. He's friends with Donald Trump. Let's have him run against Raphael Warnock. He's black. Herschel's black. That's like what the Republican operatives were thinking. And they ran a horrible fucking person regardless, even before this, which is precisely why he was already trailing behind. Can we please downplay his UGA history? No, man. Once a Bulldog, he's a Bulldog for life. Okay, yes, Don Jr. is famous. Come on. He's significantly more famous than Christian Walker is. But ultimately, they are both conservative, like, e-celebs, okay?
You don't know my family life. I did one event last year when we were told he was going to get ahead of his past and hold himself accountable. None of that happened. Everything's been a lie. So for me to tell you I'm not getting involved, and then you also be flooding my DMs and calling me saying, I didn't know all this about your dad, we're going to lose the Senate race. And then when I simply say, I'm done with the lies, you go, well, Christian looks suspicious. Excuse me? I haven't told one story about what I experienced with him. I'm just simply saying, don't lie. And then for certain political pundits to be pulling up old pictures I posted of my dad, thinking they can police and determine what my relationship with my dad was. If you want to pull stuff up, I'll pull stuff up. Don't try me. Don't test my authenticity. All of this has been a lie and you've known it. You've known. So don't you dare. And then to the left, who says, well, he did all this to your mom and you were still with them and, you know, that's weird. You know nothing about my life. My parents went through a dirty divorce. I went through a lot as a child and you don't know anything. You don't know the ebbs and flows of our relationship. Nobody knows anything. So for everyone making these wild theories and whatever, that's crazy. This is about a bunch of lies. Again, I could, if I had an issue with whatever, I could have ended this day. That's not my intention. My intention is don't lie about your life.
And now they're coming after him. Look, the blame game has begun. This is a deeply disturbed kid who has, with obvious issues of his own, said a GOP official close to Walker. He's a spoiled brat and is solely to blame if Herschel loses the race. Yeah, of course a GOP official close to Walker would say that because the real people responsible for this are the GOP officials that prop the man who doesn't know what the fuck's going on 95% of the time to a race that could have been otherwise winnable. Christian Walker's not the only reason why he was already, not doing great, not performing well against Warnock in the polls. Y'all put the walking representation of CTE up there, and you thought, well, he's from Georgia. They like him there. It'll be fun. He's black. So was Raphael Warnock. We'll own it. Nah, he has to answer why he was campaigning with him. He already did. He already said it. He thought, I think he's more upset that Herschel Walker is first of all, let me just stop myself real quick. Let me just describe to you something, okay? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. What do you mean he has to answer for it? Suck my dick. What do you mean he has to answer for it? He's already tanking a political fucking candidate, and you're like, you're being the most annoying leftist possible. What do you mean he has to answer for it? He doesn't have to answer anything. Why? Dude, y'all are so fucking lame. I swear to God. Some people on the left cannot fucking stop themselves. They're like, nope, it doesn't matter. A good thing? I am going to make sure that it's bad. Just take the fucking W and move on, you fucking idiot. What's wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Holy shit, Christian was right. Leftists are saying that. Yeah, I see that. I see unironic people in my chat saying this. Yikes. He campaigned with him one time, as he mentioned. He campaigned with his dad one time because he thought that it wasn't going to come out. All this stuff wasn't going to come out. And I think probably watching him openly fucking lie about his mom, who he abused as far as we know, it was too far. I don't think this is a W. Most likely won't have an impact on the dumbass, masochistic Georgian Republican electorate. No. You're crazy. If this wasn't a close race, then yes. But it already is a close race with Herschel Walker trailing behind Warnock. That is precisely the reason why. That is precisely the reason why he's fucking pissed. Or that is why it's impactful. Why are we doing this ahead of the midterms? We are not interested, and you should work it out privately. It's time to unite and vote. Maybe because it won't change for you if we don't win in November. You'll still be shopping at Gucci, right? Real folk are struggling. Wait, Anna Braga says this. Oh, my favorite type of people. This doesn't add up. I can feel nothing but sadness for the young man. Something happened or somebody hijacked his account, but I will still vote for Herschel and for the fact that he still loves his son and stands by him. Exactly. Something not right here. I really hope someone didn't make money to say these things. This is personal stuff, and Christian is very dramatic as always, but is smart enough to know not to do this on a public forum. Soros? Plenty of Republicans are still going to vote for Walker. You guys are fucking crazy if you think that that's not the case. This is not about that. This is about whether or not it's impactful enough to fucking tank his already flailing campaigning. Anyway, watching people flip overnight to being Christian Walker fans reminds me of the passage from Orwell's 1984. I'm well aware the political opinions can turn on a dime, but I've never seen a move this fast. All human beings are something else. Yeah, I mean, I don't think people understand. Like, no one is a fan of Christian Walker. I think there's nothing funnier than people bringing up the fact that he's wearing like a expensive sweater now and not like every other time he was doing like his bits. I love when conservatives literally remember that he's like both gay and spoiled. You know what I mean? The moment that he turns on his dad. Anyway. Where the fuck was it? I can't find. Oh my God. I don't understand why people literally cannot just let this be a good thing. You know what I mean? Like immediately people are like, oh, Christian Walker and May saying pro-choice women shouldn't worry about abortion because being legal because they aren't attractive for men to have sex with them. Yeah, he's a fucking hateful troll, okay? Like, yeah, that's his entire persona, which is the reason why he was so fucking popular within conservative circles. Do not stop your enemies from making a mistake, Karl Marx. I don't think Karl Marx said that. Leftist said, hang on, we got to purity check this guy. Dude, I'm losing my fucking mind over this, dude. Like, there is no conservatives will openly be white supremacists and then turn around and be like, I love Ye, man. Oh, my God, I was in Paris. You know what I mean? Me and the boys, we were in Paris. We love it. The moment Kanye West says something even lightly MAGA, but leftists and liberals on the timeline have to be like, well, let's look at every single thing this person has ever said, as a matter of fact. And let's literally further shit on him while the conservatives are shitting on him while he's giving us a fucking layup. Fuck! I hate this. I hate it so much. Just let it happen. White evangelicals know how to play this game. They don't give a single fuck about what their preferred candidate has done or how they conduct themselves. All they know is Walker will be a guaranteed pro-life vote in the Senate, so they'll vote accordingly. Yeah, I mean, fine, but still. Stop being mean to Hasan's friend, guys. Dude, you are so fucking stupid. If you think that that is my angle on this. Oh my God. Please tell me you're joking. Please. You can't be this fucking dense, right? How many times have I consistently fucking said? How many fucking times have I said? Operate like fucking Republicans, okay? In the way that Republicans do, because they want to win. Liberals do not want to win. It's a joke. Grow up. No, there's people who are unironically saying shit like this. I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I know my mom and I would really appreciate my father, Herschel Walker, stopped lying and making a mockery of us. You're not a family man when you left us to bang a bunch of women, threatened to kill us, and had us move over 6 times in 6 months running from your violence. I don't care about someone who has had a bad past and takes accountability, but how dare you lie and act as though you're some moral, Christian, upright man. You've lived a whole life destroying other people's lives. How dare you? You said he's a friend of the show multiple times. Yeah, that was me when I was joking, okay? He also tweeted this. You have 4 kids that we know of, and you weren't in the house raising one of them. You were out cheating and lying. If you loved your kids, you'd be raising them instead of running for a Senate race to boost your ego. He tweeted this and deleted it. Oh. There are so many leftist streamers with shitty takes that warps the minds of chat. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, of course. Yeah, he is eating his dad up, which leads me to believe that he is probably very serious about this. I think that this is real. This is a real thing.
Georgia Senate.
Anyway, let's see what the funniest thing conservatives could do about this, which is have Herschel can't even craft a fucking sentence Walker on a popular news broadcast to defend himself.
Candidate Herschel Walker. Let's start with the Daily Beast, Herschel. I mean, serious accusations that in 2009 that you paid for an abortion. First question, do you know the woman that is making this allegation?
I have no idea, but it is a flat out lie. And now you know.
Bro, there's literally receipts, man. Like, there is no more of a caught in 4K fucking moment than this, okay? Of course, Alan Dershowitz coming up. Oh my God. Why? I don't even understand how, why, what?
Know how important this seat is. This seat is very important, that they'll do anything to win this seat, lie, because they want to make it about everything else except what the true problems that we have in this country is. This inflation, the border wide open, crime. They don't want to talk about that. So they're making up lies now because they need this Georgia seat. So I'm going to encourage anyone out there, let's not let them take this seat. If you can go to teamherschel.com, let's not let them take this seat, because if they take this seat, we won't recognize this country tomorrow. Because right now, for them to come out with total lies, I think that's not right.
Let me ask you this. So they're claiming that on September 12th of 2009, that the woman has a receipt for an abortion. They're claiming that 5 days later, on September 17th, you sent a $700 check, and that you sent it in a Get Well card. The Get Well card, it looks like it's included with your signature in the article. Have you seen it, and is that your signature?
I haven't seen it, but I can tell you, I send out so many Get Well, send out so much of anything. But I can tell you right now, I never asked anyone to get an abortion. I never paid for an abortion, and it's a lie. And I'm going to continue to fight. I tell you, that's what they want. They want this seat. But right now, they've energized me even more. And they're not going to take the seat. So they better work it even harder, because they've jeopardized my kids. They've jeopardized my family. They think they can threaten me. They think they can scare me. Right now, all that done is it's energized me more, that I'm going to fight and win this seat for the great people of Georgia, because to have someone in the seat that lies to the people shouldn't be in the seat as a senator.
What about the $700 check? Is there anybody you can remember sending that much money to?
Well, I send money to a lot of people, and that's what's so funny.
Bro, he's not even doing a good job unsurprisingly, he's not doing a good job defending himself. Like, I don't know, I signed a lot of these. Like, yeah, dude. He's about to be like, Sean, I'm going to keep it real with you. I have paid for hundreds of abortions, okay? I mean, for a man with severe CTE, he's doing pretty good. I mean, this is Sean sucking on your toes Hannity. Of course he's like, this is the easiest outlet. There's not going to be a serious question here. Sean will literally feed him the talking points, as he does with Donald Trump all the time.
And let's go back to my part. I do scholarship for kids. I give money to people all the time, because I'm always helping people, because I believe in being
like, yeah, I might have given this money to this woman that I, paid for the abortion of after, having sex with her. But I also give money to kids. So think about that, please. No matter what you do. I mean, think about that for the most part.
Being generous. God has blessed me, and I want to bless others. And I got into this race because I'm a Christian. I love the Lord Jesus Christ. And I always tell everyone that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So whoever been out there want to lie on Herschel Walker, you're lying on the wrong one. it's best that you to go somewhere else because I'm going to win this seat for the great people of Georgia because Georgia deserves to have a senator that trusts in the Georgia people and not no one that trusts in Joe Biden like Senator Warnock does.
Let's talk about the New York Times piece for a minute. It claimed it went to your hometown. Is it true you have a field named after you in that town?
I do. I have a field named after me. I have a street named after me. I do camps. I've been doing them now. And we didn't do them last year for COVID, but I'm doing a camp there for over 6 or 7 years, not just for
you've been doing
my
a fitness
county,
camp,
but two
right?
other counties.
I
do a fitness camp because I want boys and girls. Yes. I do a fitness camp for boys and girls because I want to include everyone. And also I give scholarships to 2 other counties there as well. I built a gym there in the school as well. So I'm going to continue to help people in my hometown because that's where I am. Like I said, God has helped me.
Bro, this is such a good question. Like, this is what I mean, by the way. This is what I fucking mean. Like, Sean Hannity has moved on, and he's basically like, all right, tell us more about how philanthropic you are. And how much people love you. You have a road named after you. That's pretty cool. It's like, how is this an interview, man?
I'm going to help others. So I'm not going to let articles like this stop me from doing what I do because for them to do an article like this is sad, but that just tells me how much this seat means. And that's what I tell people all the time. This seat means a lot. The Georgia seat means a lot to the left. So I'm going to say it again, and please forgive me for this. Let's stop them from getting this seat. And you can help me by going to teamherschel.com, and let's stop them from getting this seat because right now, from what the left is doing is not right. They're doing it to other candidates as well, I bet, because they need those seats because they want to change this country, change their state, and we're not going to let it happen.
And the New York Times, they're all anonymous sources. If you have a field and a street and you built a gym and you're building another...
How is this in any way, shape, or form? Like, they're not even fucking hiding that this is just a way to deflect away. Sean Hannity asked him 3 questions. He said, nah. And then he didn't even say no. Like, that's the thing. Sean Hannity was like, did you write this card? He's like, I write many cards. Okay, let's talk about your scholarships. He didn't even say no. He said, I don't know. Did you pay for this abortion? Also, you're hot and good at football. Sean, this seat means a lot. God, America is so fucking dumb, dude. We are so stupid. We are a very, very incredibly stupid nation full of incredibly stupid people. And God damn it, I mean, this guy's... He could have won. Like, I mean, he still can. Who knows? It's not. It's a close race that is favoring Raphael Warnock right now. But having said all that, who knows, man? He could still win.
I guess playground, as I understand it, in the town, and you're given scholarships. Is it true you invited your entire class to a reunion that you paid for the whole thing?
Why is this relevant?
That is true as well. And, you know, and that's what's so strange about it. Whoever wrote this article, you know, never even talked to me, never talked to any of my family members, never talked to anyone. Like you said, everything is anonymous. And that's what's so sad. It's either anonymous or I have no idea. All I know is right now they want to address everything except what the problems in this country is going on. You see it. You feel it. High inflation. You know, you can't even afford eggs and milk. You see crime. You're afraid to go to the mall. And you're even afraid to pump gas at the gas.
Oh, my God. Herschel Walker reportedly breaks fundraising record after Daily Beast breaks abortion receipt. That's awesome. I mean, he was probably not fundraising super hard before, though. I don't think. I can't. Oh my God, dude. Daily Beast could break an article being like, here is a photo of Herschel Walker driving his girlfriend at the time to the abortion clinic. Here is a video footage of Herschel Walker encouraging the doctor to give her the abortion pill. We've recorded this on camera, and Republicans will be like, nope. Still giving him more money, actually. This is lying liberal Soros media, baby. Gotta be a deep fake. Conservatives would look at Herschel Walker personally using his own hands to abort a baby and be like, well, you know, we like a go-getter. That's how he did the tackles too. You know? Walker campaign manager Scott Paradise told the staff this morning the Daily Beast story. That was a setback, but that fundraising was surging after Walker's denial. Paradise mentioned Access Hollywood episode saying Trump still made it to the White House per person familiar. Senior campaign officials also planning to speak with Walker later today about the abortion allegation. Once we have more of the facts, we can go about our jobs and go win this thing, said a person close to the Walker campaign. Imagine still thinking that conservatives actually care about moral consistency. No, of course not. But like, this is the type of stuff that depresses campaign turnout, especially when this is like something in the margins. You know what I mean? Make no mistake. I'm not saying this is the smoking gun that destroys the Herschel Walker campaign. Okay. If this was a normal campaign already, he would be running with it right now. Okay. Nobody gives a fuck about moral consistency. Only dumbass liberals care about moral consistency, and even dumber leftists care about moral consistency, when in fact they don't even care about moral consistency. They're just thinking about it like that. They think they care about it, but they don't actually fucking care about it. It's just, it's stupid. This is politics, okay? You just want a guy who's going to vote for your favor, vote in your best interest. And Republicans don't even fucking vote in their best interest. Republican candidates don't even vote on behalf of the working class. When you talk about how consistent you are as an argument for you, though, my moral consistency is irrelevant in this conversation, okay? My consistency in my messaging ultimately is something that I bring up all the time because people are constantly saying I'm inconsistent. If people wouldn't fucking lie about, what I believe in or whatever the fuck, I wouldn't even be bringing it up. Okay? They had a record-breaking fundraising day after the Daily Beast story broke. Walker raised $182,000, including $50K during his Sean Hannity interview. Holy fuck. That's, by the way, for the record, I was right. $182K is not that much. If $182K is a record-breaking fundraising day for the Herschel Walker, there's a sad commentary on his campaign. That's less than Warnock's average daily haul during the second quarter. Also says a lot that Walker's single best fundraising day happened not because of a great speech or a big rally or a cool policy initiative, but because he's pretending to be the innocent victim of mainstream media. Yeah. I told you, the Republicans have a really hard time with some of the candidates, some of the pro-Trump candidates especially, that they're running up. They're having a really hard time, pumping those campaigns full of funds. They're kind of broke boys. Bros flop because it failed to capture all the rich complexities of actual gay life, like fighting with your dad on Twitter after his secret abortion is revealed. That's pretty good. Yeah, Elon Musk is confirmed to purchase Twitter. We're going to talk about that. I think the GOP staffers who thought Herschel Walker would be a shoo-in for the Senate are smoking on that same kind of fucking copium that they are smoking on currently when they say, oh, this kind of stuff is great for us, actually. Look how much money we raise, when the amount of money that you've raised so far is really fucking low. Walker raised $6.2 million in the second quarter, while Warnock brought in more than $17 million. HBO didn't exhibit John Oliver's episodes about Bolsonaro in Brazil last week? What do you mean? Herschel Walker is being slandered and maligned by fake news media and obviously the Democrats, the former president declared in a statement. Let's go. Anyway, if Elon owns Twitter, will Trump come back? I fucking hope so. The U.S. Labor Board has found that Activision Blizzard withheld pay rises from some Raven software employees because of unionization. Holy fuck, dude. The U.S. Labor Board finds that Activision Blizzard withheld raises over unionization. Raven employees who formed the union didn't receive pay rises earlier this year. As reported by the Washington Post, the NLRB's findings will likely fall in favor of the Raven employees in their ongoing negotiations with Activision Blizzard. The group of quality assurance workers became the first union at a major NA American video game company and filed the NLRB complaint in September. It's a very preliminary win for the union at this point. It gives them a little bit of leverage, said the former chairman of the NLRB, Wilma Liebman. It's part of their tactics, hit them wherever they can to put pressure on the company in order to reach an agreement with them and stop violating the fucking law. Speaking of Blizzard, Bush-era torture apologist steps down from Activision Blizzard. What an incredible fucking way to... What an incredible sequence of words to put together, by the way. Anyway, we'll talk about all that. Let me just wrap this fucking thing up.
Station at night. You're afraid to walk out of your house because you're a prisoner in your own house because Senator Warnock believes in he believes in no cash bail, believes in empty
what the fuck?
In the prisons. Right now, this board is wide open when the vice president says secured. Right now, we have problems, and we got to get new leadership in Washington. And right now, they want to try to buy seats. They want to lie and do whatever they can to get you off your game. But right now, they made me better. So I'm going to fight even harder right now.
You seem at peace. You don't seem like you're letting this bother you. I think a lot of people would let it bother them.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what's going on, Sean. How could anything bother him? He doesn't know where he is right now. Also, being at peace with the fact that, your dirty laundry's being revealed doesn't necessarily make you a good person, depending on what the fucking dirty laundry is.
Do you just accept that this is a political season? This is what happens?
Well, no, I knew what I was getting into when I signed up. The first thing somebody said is that, oh, you're conservative, you're black. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with I love America. It has to do, I love the Constitution. I believe in the lower taxes. I believe in law and order. I believe in the people. They want to continue to tell us that we're a racist country full of racist people. We're a bad country. And I'm saying we're a good country. We're full of good people. But what we got to do is we got to come together. I believe in unity. I believe in bringing people together. And in that article that the guy wrote from the New York Times, he talked like we're separated in Wrightsville. I want to tell you right now, Wrightsville is one of the friendliest towns in the state of Georgia. And the people get along. Yes, years ago, and I talked about it. Years ago, there was problems in that town. There was a lot of problems. But today that town gets along. People gets along. People love each other. So for a New York reporter to come and try to divide us, because that's what the left is.
A New York reporter came and is dividing us. Dude, honestly, It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. I'm losing my fucking mind.
It's good at dividing us. I think it's a shame. It's disgusting. And I can promise you the Wrightsville people are upset because they made me upset. They're not going to divide my family.
Herschel Walker, thank you for being with us. 36 days to go. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey.
I just read this thread about Christian Walker. Is pretty good. Herschel Walker is a bumbling hypocrite, not fit for public office, and his son will say anything to be in the spotlight. Both can be true. I love mess, but his son's calculated rebrand doesn't erase the years of hateful content or harm he's gleefully perpetuated. Don't be duped. Dude, what? Time and place. Time and place. Time and place. Time and place. We already know this shit, okay? We know. Time and place. Nobody's fucking being like, oh, man, Christian Walker is such a good person now. Like, he's not even saying that. He is still very much a conservative. I'm losing my fucking mind. If you are more focused on fucking dragging... Okay. If you are writing fucking threads dragging Christian Walker at a time when he is bouldering the Herschel Walker campaign, you have to just take a breather and be like, listen, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Are you a Republican operative? Are you working for the Republican Party? Are you a Republican operative? What the fuck is happening? Liberalism is a mental disorder, and there is no better fucking recognition of that reality than watching liberals be like, yeah, well, I'm more focused on, dragging Christian Walker in this circumstance when he's openly fucking bouldering the Herschel Walker Senate campaign. Wait, didn't a chatter link this like it was good, Lamau? Yeah, they did. I care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about your fucking moralizing of the situation. I don't care about your grandstanding. Do you want Herschel Walker to win the fucking Senate seat? If you do, then keep writing about how fucking nice of a person you are. Show everyone how good you are and how moral you are. Okay? With that logic, you're saying the Lincoln Project is for democracy? No. No, they're not. Okay? But I'm not going to sit here and fucking be like, oh man, I can't believe the Lincoln Project is like ripping into the fucking Republicans. No, they're pieces of shit. I say it all the time. I'm not here saying Christian Walker is a good person either. I said this earlier. It's a win-win for Christian. He comes out as the good guy no matter what. To make him look like the bad guy just makes you look dumb as hell. Yeah, what the fuck? How is calling someone a Republican operative an acceptable response to the point the thread made? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. If someone is a walking paradox or contradicting what they're saying with their actions, you can't just dismiss them because you got to run the top of the hour ad break while frolicking with inconsistencies. God damn it, dude. God fucking damn you. Take a second off. That was probably one of the best written ad break debates I've ever fucking seen. Delivered so perfectly, exactly at 2 p.m. I despise you. That was really fucked up. That was... I need to take a breather from that. That was so fucking... Oh, my God. That was evil, my man. That was evil. You're evil. At the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you could do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account through a Twitch account where you get one free Prime subscription a month. Okay? That was devious.
Now to...
If you no longer want to see those ads, you can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. That hurt. All right, speaking of criminal justice... Speaking of criminal justice, Kim Kardashian is going to be paying $1.26 million over social media posts promoting cryptocurrency.
Kim Kardashian, she has agreed to pay nearly $1.3 million for promoting cryptocurrency on social media without providing necessary disclosures. Chief Business Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis is back with that. Good morning again, Rebecca.
Hi, Michael. Nice to see you again. And the rising popularity of cryptocurrencies has brought out more and more celebrities talking about and pushing these digital currencies. Now, Kim Kardashian has agreed to pay that more than $1 million fine to the SEC after promoting a cryptocurrency without disclosing she was paid for the post.
Kim Kardashian now paying the price for what the SEC says was unlawfully promoting crypto on social media. Kardashian agreeing to pay more than $1.2 million for this June 2021 Instagram story touting EMAX tokens, a cryptocurrency sold by Ethereum Max, without disclosing she was paid $250,000 to post about it.
I'm so excited for you to take a ride on Kim Air.
The fashion and makeup mogul is worth an estimated $1.8 billion. Part of that wealth earned promoting various products on social media. In a statement, Kardashian's lawyer saying the star has fully cooperated with the SEC and is pleased to have resolved this matter. As part of the settlement, in which she neither admitted nor denied the SEC's findings, Kardashian has also agreed not to promote crypto for 3 years.
This is just the SEC's way of saying, hey, we don't want people to lose their money on these things and have these celebrities make off with a big payment.
Kardashian is not the first celebrity to draw scrutiny from the SEC over touting crypto. In 2018, Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled faced similar charges. And guys, this is just a good reminder. Before you buy any kind of investment, it is important to do your own research, even if the celebrity you love is talking about it. Anything promising big returns comes with big risk. Guys?
Absolutely.
Always a good reminder there,
Yes.
Rebecca. Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning.
Sorry that you guys had to see Robin Robbins here. Hello there, GMA fans. They made their money back tenfold with this free promotion from MSM. I'll just say this: I'm in favor of doing this way more frequently. 204 chatters rated this ad segue an average of 977 out of 10. Incredible, Hasi. Wait, Dr. Phil?
Today,
Dr. Phil is incredibly fucking litigious, dude. I can't watch his clips on the show. Apparently, he just like does immediate DMCA takedowns. Bro, find every single person in the Super Bowl ads then. Find the fucking crypto stadium. Yes. Bitch, you think I give a fuck? Yeah, I'll throw Larry David in that fucking pile. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I love him, but, you know, I was hurt. Did you see Dana got insanely jacked? Wait, really? What the fuck? Dude. Wait, it's kind of fucked up that he won't let his athletes do steroids, but he's like very clearly geared out the fucking gills, dude. Get USADA on the line? How can you tell a 53-year-old man having fucking 10% body fat like that? I mean, come on. He got fucking cum gutters, dog. You see the article of Joe Rogan admitting he betted on UFC matches he was commentating on? No shot. I mean, I guess, wait, is that you can do that, right? He will just say it's TRT. Yeah, okay. Liver King did. Yeah, Liver King is juice too, most likely. All right, let's take a look. Our favorite Papa, okay, Father John. Commentating isn't judging. Yeah. He wasn't reffing on him. Who gives a fuck? It's still fucked up. Yeah, I guess kind of. I don't know. Let's watch Papa.
Of course, you're currently in Utah, but we're seeing the images of your home in Naples. It appears it is completely underwater. Boy, just seeing all those images, it's heartbreaking. Can you tell us the aftermath in your neighborhood?
Yeah, that gives you a little bit of perspective on a picture just how devastating this storm is. I'm not real worried about myself because I have the resources and the team and the institutional knowledge, but you just can't imagine how bad this is. And my heart goes out to the folks in Florida that, yeah, I lost a home. They've lost everything. They lost their home, their assets, it's just
Of course, you're currently in Utah, but we're seeing the images of your home in Naples. It appears it is completely underwater. Boy, just seeing all those images, it's heartbreaking. Can you tell us the aftermath in your neighborhood?
Yeah, that gives you a little bit of perspective on a picture just how devastating this storm is. I'm not real worried about myself because I have the resources.
Sorry, I was warming up my fucking food, okay? Bro, all you have to do to get on OAN is say the N-word. Hey, listen. Not many have the bravery to do so, my friend. And also, what about, wait, hold on. Someone said Miski got the invite. What about the bravery to eat 40 pizzas in a matter of 30 days? What about that? That's not brave, that's suicide. Some will see. Libtards will say it's suicide. Papa John, not Papa John though. Papa John knows that's bravery. That's commitment. That's why you're not even in the pizza category.
And the team and the institutional knowledge, but you just can't imagine how bad this is. And my heart goes out to the folks in Florida that, yeah, I lost a home. They've lost everything. They lost their home, their
I love him being like, yeah, I lost a home. Like, obviously not, he's just like, yeah, I lost one of the homes. One of 5, way more than 5, brother. You call him Big Papa a broke boy?
Kardashian.
Oh, Supreme Court's back. Before you forget, show your food. It's reheated chicken. Literally the same shit I eat every day. If I eat my own food that I make, then I'm eating reheated chicken with the same fucking salad that I prepare in the morning. Okay? Same shit. I eat reheated chicken placed on top of bread that I heat up. Dave's Killer Mike bread with a little bit of fucking cedar tzatziki on it. You guys are so fucking annoying. all the time. It's pretty tasty. And the same salad that I've been eating for like 4 fucking years, which is red onions, tomatoes, and cucumber.
The Supreme Court hears arguments this morning on a significant case focusing on race and voting rights in Alabama. The court opens its new term yesterday with 2 black justices for the first time ever. Ketanji Brown Jackson joining Clarence Thomas. Jan Crawford is at the Supreme Court, where the justices are poised to make more historic rulings in the coming year. Jan, good morning.
Good morning, Nate. You know, after that blockbuster term last year, they're back taking on more contentious cases this year on issues like race, gay rights discrimination, and they are jumping right in with a major case from Alabama later this morning on the Voting Rights Act.
In 1965, during the struggle for voting rights, this was the epicenter, Selma, Alabama. Today, Selma is again at the center of a battle over voting.
This room is called the Foot Soldiers Hall of Fame.
Sam Walker is head of the National Voting Rights Museum at the foot of the Edmund Pettus Bridge.
This is the actual voting machine that black people voted on when they voted back in 1966 after the signing of the Voting Rights Act of August of 1965.
But now, with black voter registration at historic highs, black leaders say Alabama is using redistricting to dilute the power of their vote and their ability to elect officials of their choice in violation of the Voting Rights Act.
Here in Alabama, we feel that, the white community has never really represented the black interests.
The state is 27% black, but only one of Alabama's 7 congressional districts, which includes Selma, is majority black, now represented by Alabama's only Democratic representative, Congresswoman Terry Sewell.
Having a congressional representation that's responsive to the needs of those communities is very important.
Evan Milligan, who grew up in Alabama and now leads the group Alabama Forward, sued, saying the state should have 2 black districts and that his organization has shown how it can be done.
If I know that I'm voting in a district where no matter how many times I come to vote for certain seats, my vote doesn't matter because of how the district has been drawn, then there's little incentive for me to participate.
That is the district in question.
But Secretary of State John Merrill says the only way to possibly create 2 black districts is to focus solely on race, which Alabama argues shouldn't even be a consideration. It says the Voting Rights Act requires states draw districts neutrally.
What the legislature attempted to do is to draw...
That's how all districts work, no? Yeah. It's bad. That's not how districting is supposed to work. Districting is supposed to be done in a way that, yields better results. So people who are in the same neighborhoods with similar interests can get grouped up with a representative that best serves their interests. Alabama, very specifically, is looking at a state with a 30% black population, which is literally almost 3 times the size of the average American area with black people. That's 3 times the national average. And you can't get fucking 2 districts for black people? Out of 7? That's crazy. It's done specifically so black people who have a 90% likelihood of voting Democrat can't get a fucking vote out there and can't have a representative that actually represents their interests. That's it.
Impartial districts that were unbiased, not according to race.
And he says creating 2 geographically compact districts would risk decreasing black representation by taking some black voters from the once safe district, which is now about 57% black.
The likelihood of there being 7 white members of Congress instead of 6 whites and 1 African American increases dramatically.
Now, Alabama lost in the lower court, but the Supreme Court put that decision on hold so Alabama can use its map for the elections next month. This case will affect future elections, not only in Alabama, but in states across the country. Nate.
Jan, thank you.
But we do need to get to the news off the top. There's a grim situation unfolding in Florida nearly a week now after Hurricane Ian. CBS News has confirmed more than 100 people were killed by that storm. And as things stand currently, more than 400,000 people in Florida are still without power. And there's one community in particular, Sanibel Island, totally cut off from the mainland because the storm destroyed part of a car.
See how bad it is? Scroll down and click the purple picture on the right to make it larger. Look how they cracked that black population center on the right directly in half. A congressional boundary that splits history. A border, Alabama 7th Congressional District, the state's only black majority district, slices the city of Montgomery virtually in half. In the city's historic downtown where the bus stop, Rosa Parks was arrested on one side, while the other side sits a church once led by Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Alabama 7th Congressional District snakes a winding path from the western neighborhoods of Birmingham through the state's Black Belt, a swath of land named after the rich soil that once gave rise to the antebellum plantations. High court to weigh in on black representation in Alabama. African Americans account for 27% of the state's population, but are the majority in just one of the state's 7 congressional districts. The case of the U.S. Supreme Court will take center on whether congressional districts in Alabama were drawn to reduce the political influence of black voters, but is also part of a much broader problem that undermines. Oh, here. Look at where all the black populations live, and look at the way that the districts were drawn. You absolutely could, if you wanted to, cut a fucking piece of Columbus and make an entirely separate district right here. They were like, states got 27%, 30% black folk. Let's get 90% of them in one district. And remember, this just shows black population. It doesn't show population density either. Lol, they packed 7 and cracked the one between 3 and 2. Yeah, this is drawn perfectly in between their districts too. The terms are cracking and stacking. District 7 is stacked with black folk to keep them out of other districts, and 2 and 3 split another population center to lessen their effect. Exactly. You could redefine 7, District 7, to literally make not 1, but 3 if you wanted to. Not 1, but 3 fucking, heavily black populated districts. That would but that would, of course, swing Democrat in that situation. I mean, look at this. Like, why? Why is Birmingham in District 7? Because it's a fucking incredibly population-dense black neighborhood. That's why. That's why it's not in 6. Not a neighborhood, a city. I live in Birmingham and it's diverse as fuck. I mean, but you also have to remember, like, they're trying to stop not just black people from having a say, but also from Democrats winning. That's what it is.
Causeway.
For people who are saying Alabama diversity, what a lot of people don't understand is Yes, dude. Alabama is fucking diverse. It's way more diverse than New Hampshire. It's way more diverse than Iowa. A lot of you motherfuckers think, oh, it's the South. It's all racist. Yeah, the South is incredibly diverse. In most instances, way more diverse, especially if you consider diversity to just mean black people existing there, okay? A lot of people don't understand how fucking insanely diverse the South is. They just have no proportional representation. They have no representation whatsoever. It's unironically the North that is not diverse. It's the South that is legitimately fucking diverse. But the reality is that, like, because of redistricting exactly like the way you are seeing right here, they have no say. People don't understand that. The South seems more racist because there are black people there for the white people to hate. I mean, no, they are also more racist. Like, come on now. No, it's not because, like, there's less black people in the North or whatever. No, there's definitely, they're definitely more racist too, dog. Come on. Like, holy shit.
The only road in or out.
Anyway, let's talk about the Florida residents recovering from the damage left by Hurricane Ian.
Manuel Bojorquez traveled to that once thriving tourist destination, one of the prettiest spots in the world, in fact. It's now in ruins. And we find Manny in Fort Myers Beach, another hard-hit area. Manny, good morning.
God damn, what a fucking picture.
Good morning, Tony. More than half of the total deaths from Hurricane Ian occurred right here in Lee County, and you can see this devastation around us. Also hard hit, as you mentioned, Sanibel Island, which is virtually uninhabitable. We were able to reach it by boat yesterday to see what's left. You can see they're having to use barges to bring in heavy equipment and trucks. That's because the causeway here, well, there are entire chunks of it that are missing, disconnecting this island from the mainland. In the aftermath of Hurricane Ian, Sanibel Island hasn't just been damaged, it's been left isolated too. From above, the extent of the destruction is staggering. Trees flattened, homes shredded, roads ripped apart by sand and mud. But from the ground, a clearer picture emerges of just how life-changing Ian has been and will be. The scenes here on Sanibel Island are almost...
Hey, I'm from Chicago area, and I'll have you know, MLK thought the area was racist as fuck. Don't sell the North Shore. No, man. America is a fucking series of incredibly racist people trying to figure out who's less racist. I never said these places aren't racist as fuck. Of course they are. That's America, man. America is just racist. That's just, you know, our nation building project hinges on genocide and slavery.
Almost apocalyptic. You don't see a soul in the streets. There's not barely a sound here except for a few birds and some of the helicopters that are still doing rescues and bringing supplies in and out. More than 2,000 residents have been rescued and evacuated in Florida since Ian made landfall, including Lacey McClary, a local artist who was airlifted to safety from Sanibel Island.
Yeah, I can't believe it. That's still here.
We traveled with her across the bay over the weekend at what used to be her studio on San Carlos Island. McClary recorded the storm as it tore through her friend's house where
Incredible
they wrote it out.
Florida behavior.
When we were on Sanibel Island, she asked us to check on her house. So unless things have moved around, I think this is her house based on all the paintings. It definitely looks like it's destroyed. As local officials sweep Sanibel Island to find survivors, some evacuees are returning to see the damage firsthand, like the Jankowskis brothers who took a boat here.
Devastation is unreal. You know, it's kind of sad to see. It's horrible. I mean, you walk down these streets, you can't even recognize what streets they are. It's a tragedy, and that's all you can pretty much say.
Florida officials have defended the timing of evacuation orders here in Lee County, which went into effect less than 24 hours before Ian churned ashore. They've said that they issued those. They went into effect as soon as the storm's track put the county in the bullseye. But take a look. Forecasts from the days leading up to landfall show that at least parts of the county were always within Ian's projected cone, even when a direct hit looked unlikely. President Biden is expected to visit.
Florida is in a unique situation because it's Florida. So, on the one hand, of course, like they didn't give enough warning signs ahead of time. But on the other hand, because they did fuck it up. They did. They only informed a mandatory evacuation warning was only given out, I believe, like what, 24 hours prior instead of 48 hours prior. And not only that, but also on top of that, Floridians, and I'm sorry to say this, just don't want to fucking leave when a hurricane is coming down their goddamn street. Like, the Florida government is dog shit, but Florida people are just literally like, oh, that's a hurricane, whatever, I'm not leaving my house. Like, how do you think she filmed that? I mean, look, what do you think happened here? How did she film this?
We tried video on house where they wrote it out when we were on San.
She didn't leave. She was there.
House where they wrote it out when we were.
That's fucking insane. What the fuck are you doing? It's hard to evacuate and the media always overhypes these storms. No, man. That's why you have to. I'm from the Gulf Coast, and literally all of us pretend that the hurricane is being overhyped. We all think we're stronger than the storms, Lamont. No, 100%. To be fair, it's mostly a culture that avoids the horrendous road infrastructure in Florida that can't support a mass evacuation. There's always a time, though. There's always enough time. If you get enough time that, like, a Category 4 is coming your way, you should step out of its fucking direction. But again, most of this is the fault of the fucking governor and the state of Florida, okay? Like, the state apparatus should have been way, way more deliberate. Ron DeSantis has gone out on the record, I think like 8 times since Hurricane Ian hit Florida to be like, well, you know, we are Floridians, and as Floridians, we stay home. Some of us did not want to leave, and that's okay because it's your own prerogative. It's our freedom to not go outside. It's our freedom to stay indoors while the hurricane is happening. It's like, how do you say that? The liberal media making Cat 4 hurricanes seem more dangerous than they are. Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, what's the problem? You know what I mean? What's the issue? I don't understand. It's just a Category 4 coming into my island. But we're not even talking mainland, you know what I mean? We're talking island, motherfucker. Where does the water go? You're on an island. Now, of course, the hilarious part about it is that these are the same fucking people that didn't want to, that couldn't stay inside their houses during COVID.
Real, you know, it's
just like to be a Floridian is to be in a permanent state of contrarian behavior. Okay. Oh, do I have to stay home because of COVID? Fuck no, not gonna do that. Oh, do I have to go outside, leave my house because of a Category 4 storm? Fuck no.
House where they wrote it out. When we were on Sanibel Island, she asked us to check on her house. So unless things have moved around, I think this is her house based on all the paintings. It definitely looks like it's destroyed. As local officials sweep Sanibel Island to find survivors, some evacuees are returning to see the damage firsthand, like the Jankowskis brothers who took a boat here.
Devastation is unreal. You know, it's kind of sad to see. It's horrible. I mean, you walk down these streets, you can't even recognize what streets they are. It's a tragedy, and that's all you can pretty much say.
Florida officials have defended the timing of evacuation orders here in Lee County, which went into effect less than 24 hours before Ian churned ashore. They've said that they issued those.
There's not enough time. It's just not. It's not enough time either.
Went into effect as soon as the storm's track put the county in the bullseye. But take a look. Forecasts from the days leading up to landfall show that at least parts of the county were always within Ian's projected cone, even when a direct hit looked unlikely. President Biden is expected to visit the region tomorrow. Tony?
Manny, as a former Floridian, I will say, even when people have those warnings, a lot of folks just don't want to get out. They trust riding it out in their home, and you can see the damage there behind you. Manny, thank you very much.
Russian troops are on the run in the east and the
All it takes is one evacuation order, then the storm misses for the next order to be ignored. It's tough. Relevant right now? Oh, yeah, this.
Let's say, for the sake of argument, that all of the water levels around the world rise by let's say 5 feet over the next 100 years, say 10 feet by the next 100 years, and it puts all the low-lying areas on the coast underwater, right? Which, let's say all of that happens. You think that people aren't going to just sell their homes and move?
Just one small problem. Sell their houses to who, Ben? Fucking Aquaman!
So let's say.
So funny. Classic. Biden's doing a hurricane tour. Yeah, I know.
President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden on the ground in Puerto Rico today, where power and water still not fully restored 4 weeks after Hurricane Fiona. ABC's Mary Bruce traveling with the president, who told Puerto Rico today he's committed to the island.
President Biden set off for Puerto Rico today, eager to assure people here that they have not been forgotten.
Yeah,
haven't
right.
been taken very good care of. We've been trying like hell to catch up from the last hurricane.
It's been 5 years since Hurricane Maria killed roughly 3,000 people. A lot of badly needed aid then held up by the Trump administration. 2 weeks ago, Puerto Rico hit again. Hurricane Fiona knocking out power across the island. Tonight, some 100,000 households remain in the dark. So many lives uprooted. Neri Aruno grows emotional, telling me all she has is what she could carry with her. Everything she left behind, now destroyed.
Ahora mismo, no sé qué hacer.
Right now, I don't know what to do, she says. The government right now only cares about themselves. They care about the people that have money. President Biden has already pledged $2 billion to help rebuild. Today, he announced an additional $60 million.
I'm determined to help Puerto Rico build faster than in the past and stronger and better prepared for the future.
So important not to forget Puerto Rico got hammered by Fiona weeks ago. And Mary, the president, he travels now to Florida on Wednesday after Hurricane Ian.
David, the president will be getting a firsthand look at the devastation and recovery effort there on Wednesday. One big question, though, will he meet with rival Republican Governor Ron DeSantis? Tonight, the White House isn't saying, but they are stressing this is not about politics. It's about the people of Florida.
I don't even think Ron DeSantis wants to meet with him.
David.
Yeah, really, both sides.
Anyway, DeSantis defending Lee officials. Don't forget Sunday 11 a.m. advisory. It was going to go Taylor County in North Florida. But that's not the full story. Same forecast showed Ian could hit almost exactly where it did near Lee, the south edge of the cone.
Why do you stand behind Lee County's decision to not have that mandatory evacuation until the day before the storm?
Well, where was your industry stationed when the storm hit? Were you guys in Lee County?
No, you were in Tampa, so that's, they were following the weather track, and they had to make decisions based on that. But 72 hours, they weren't even in the cone. 48 hours, they were on the periphery. So you got to make the decisions the best you can. I will say, they delivered the message to people. They had shelters open. Everybody had adequate opportunity to at least get to a shelter within the county. But a lot of the residents did not want to do that.
Ron DeSantis making it seem like random CNN reporter has a lot to do with the deaths of this hurricane. I get what he's trying to say. He's like, well, you didn't know either. Okay. But really, really incredible debate lord energy coming from this motherfucker right now.
I think probably for various reasons, some people just don't want to leave their home, period. They're island people, whatever. But I think part of it was so much attention was paid to Tampa that I think a lot of them probably thought that they wouldn't get the worst of it. So, but they did. And I think it's easy to second guess them, but they were ready for the whole time and made that call when it was justifiable to do so.
Some of their neighboring counties, though, did have mandatory evacuations before Tuesday.
Well, right. But our neighboring, if you look at Tuesday morning,
one of the chat said it is CNN's job to tell people, bro, what are you talking about? You think if the fucking officials are not saying there's a mandatory evacuation order, CNN is supposed to what? Do lie? CNN's about to be like, sorry, we interrupt this broadcast to say there's a mandatory evacuation order. The CNN has ordered everyone to evacuate their homes immediately.
They had moved the track down. Models started showing it going to Sarasota, so so they did that. I was in Sarasota that day with them when they were expanding some of their evacuations. Charlotte, I think, did the same thing either Monday night or Tuesday morning. But don't forget Sunday, 11 a.m. advisory, it was going to go to Taylor County in North Florida. And so, at some point you got to look to see kind of where this thing is going. So, yeah, no,
Man, this is a fucking hurricane, man. It doesn't move in the way that you know it's supposed to, so you have to counter in the probability. I know chatters who are fucking Florida brain permanently are like, well, what if the hurricane doesn't actually hit and then there's a mandatory evacuation in your neighborhood and then you're never gonna fucking evacuate again? It's like, no, man, you're still supposed to evacuate next time. Victim blaming. Wait, you think Ron DeSantis is a victim of this hurricane? What the fuck's wrong with you? 100 people died, and the numbers are probably higher. If you ever been to 38, it's fucking gorgeous. You should take a trip and try to talk shit the whole time you're there. I'm so glad the Weather Channel still feels the need to put their host directly in harm's way so we can all see how serious hurricane wind speeds can get. My second favorite part of a hurricane, second only to the people of Florida getting a much needed mandatory bath. Okay, chill, man. People have died. Lots of folks see the forecast cone and focus too much on the center. Remember, there's a 66% chance the eye will pass somewhere in the cone. The highest chance Sunday was Ian hitting Taylor, but there was a reasonable chance of Lee too. Look at 2 p.m. Monday and 8 a.m. Tuesday. The long delayed evacuation of a high-risk area seemed troubling and suspicious. And it was. The forecasts were good, but the response to them was botched with deadly consequences. Collier, Lee, Charlotte, and Sarasota look threatened throughout. That long-delayed evacuation of a high-risk area seemed troubling and suspicious, and it was. We've been investigating delayed evacuations in Lee County, says the national correspondent for the New York Times, Mike Baker. Where Hurricane Ian's death toll is at 16 and rising. Governor DeSantis, a local leader, said that officials acted in a swift response to forecast, but there's much more to the story. Anyway, DeSantis wouldn't be evil enough to purposely not evacuate until the last second to create a political disaster for Biden, right? No. I think it's more so just negligence. It's expensive to evacuate. That's it. Especially because like a lot of these areas are rich neighborhoods too. So like they wouldn't let rich people die. What are you, crazy? Not deliberately, at least. It's mostly just negligence. After all, they are Florida men and Florida women. And if there's one thing I know from my time in Florida, motherfuckers love downplaying the severity of two things: the likelihood of an alligator attack and hurricanes. Okay? I think we're underestimating how intrusive and taxing packing up all your shit in a few hours like you're never going to return or to evacuate is. People don't want to do that shit if they don't have to. No, I get it. Yeah, Hasan, did you forget some people couldn't afford to evacuate? Dude. You're just giving more additional reasons as to why Ron DeSantis is bad while fucking yelling at me for some reason. Like, what am I supposed to fund low-income people's evacuations? Like, why are you yelling at me about this? This is the responsibility of a government. The state of Florida should have been on the job. That's what a responsible state does. Meanwhile, Ron DeSantis is like a couple days prior flying out Venezuelan migrants from fucking Texas to Martha's Vineyard. What do you mean? Should have flown those motherfuckers to Martha's Vineyard. Insane. 5 days after landfall, and I'm astonished no one is talking about one of the most important hurricane forecasting lessons learned just 18 years ago. Does nobody remember things beyond what happened last year? From the 2004 Hurricane Charlie NWS Service Assessment. They predicted that Charlie was going to make landfall near Tampa Bay, Florida as a Cat 3 throughout most of its lifetime. NHC had placed much of Florida's Gulf Coast under hurricane watches and warnings approximately 24 to 36 hours before landfall, and they had highlighted the area for possible landfall for 4 days. However, a slight easterly shift in Charlie's track towards the coast south of Tampa less than 3 hours before landfall caused some coastal residents to feel they had inadequate time to prepare. Media and residents seem to have focused only on the exact forecasted track of the center of Charlie, rather than the cone of uncertainty which the NHC had included in the track forecast. I have family in Sanibel, and they didn't leave. They are Trump morons. They ended up having to be airlifted with a helicopter. Not surprising in any meaningful capacity. All right. Ukrainian forces are making new advancements in the south. Russia is getting kind of cumstered and dumpstered a little bit.
South, just days after Ukraine took back a key city. Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell is on the scene. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, George. We're in Slovyansk. This is a key city in the Donbass that just a month ago was right on the front line and looked in imminent danger of being taken by Russia. Today, the front line has been pushed well back, and it is being so almost on a daily basis. But we're also seeing not just Russian forces in retreat around here, but across Ukraine.
This morning, another major breakthrough for Ukrainian forces.
Troops in the south pushing through Russia's front lines towards the city of Herschel, liberating towns and villages along the way. Ukraine seized thousands of square miles of territory since going on the offensive, pushing Russian troops back in the northeast and reclaiming parts of the eastern Donbass region, areas Putin illegally annexed on Friday. Over the weekend, a key transportation and logistics hub, Liman, falling to the Ukrainians.
We're very close to the front lines and the liberated town of Liman. It's just down the road there. We're seeing a lot of military activity, a lot of military vehicles, and the mood amongst the soldiers is buoyant.
Captain Alexander led his men in the liberation of Liman. How do you account for this sudden turnaround? We've seen it in Kharkiv, now we're seeing it here in Donbass. He says it's down to the bravery of the troops and the support of America and allies.
I'm very scared if Ukraine starts winning and Russia gets desperate. Putin historically doesn't make good decisions when backed into a corner. I think Putin just doesn't make good decisions, period. Like, just in general. I've yet to see a good one. I'm waiting. So a couple things to talk about here. It is a little worrisome that the State Department adjacent media is basically just saying, like, oh, they're just going to have a little tactical nukey boy, like a nukey poo, okay? A baby nuke. McNuke. A McNuke. You know what I mean? Just don't worry about that. And I'm going to be honest with you, like, that is genuinely worrisome because it almost makes it seem like, for fuck's sake, Putin doesn't make decisions. Why are you eating propaganda? Also, leaders don't make decisions. Brother, who makes the decision in Russia then? If there's one country where you can, like, actually hold a singular individual responsible, is Russia. What the fuck do you mean? This guy is always losing his mind. Whenever I talk about whenever I talk about Russia, he just, like, pops off. The oligarchy. Yeah, who control oligarchy? Sure, in normal instances, you're right. But let's be real. Because of 9/11, Pakistani American, bro. Let's be real. If there's one country where the oligarchy is still controlled by the fucking main guy, it's Russia. So you're wrong. Anyway, U.S. government said that if Russia uses a tactical nuke in Ukraine, the U.S. will destroy the entire Black Sea fleet. Yeah, but they're also like, they literally said, here's what they said and here's what they didn't say. They didn't say, we're legitimately worried about, like, a serious nuclear action. They also haven't really covered the trains as much, which is kind of weird because normally I feel like you would cover them nonstop in any other circumstance. And what I'm talking about, of course, is the equipment moving into the rare video shows Russian moving equipment belong to a nuclear weapons unit. Like, I am a little surprised that it is not all over the fucking all over news media. Nuke transport most likely a routine relocation for OPSEC, not an offensive move. I mean, it's going towards Ukraine. But regardless, it almost feels like America's just like saying, hey, if Russia nukes a Ukrainian territory because they claim it's theirs and that Ukraine took it back or something, then they just do it. You know, we're not going to take any additional retaliation. They said that they haven't changed their nuclear counter strategy in any meaningful capacity. And everyone within the State Department that has been on the media has kept stressing the point over and over again that it's like, it's not a nuke that's like going to hit Europe. If they do actually deploy a nuke, it's not going to be a nuke that actually hits like, I don't know, mainland America. It's not the Cold War. It's just going to hit Ukraine. And the reality is, if it did hit any part of Ukraine, it's still a fucking nuke. It's still devastating. It would be an escalation if they did something, though, right? It would be an insane escalation. Yes. Anyway. I believe they said the NATO will destroy the entire Russian military, including the Black Sea Fleet. A senior U.S. defense official has said that the reports of the Russian train allegedly carrying nuclear weapons heading towards Ukraine appear to be false based on U.S. analysis. Senior U.S. defense official has said, okay, at least that's good. Isn't like one speck of nuclear dust in NATO is an act of war? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what will happen, and I really hope that it does not happen. But yes, a nuclear, a tactical nuke, small nuke, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. A nuke is a nuke. And if you deploy a fucking nuke in Ukraine, that is an act of war, and it's a major escalation. What's the money line on the nuke in Ukraine prop bet? Okay, stop. Please don't make any predictions. Yeah, I know. The Veil official. Russia drops a nuke. Hasan. Whoa. L, dude. Bro. Atriok. Wins, fails. Russia edition. XQC. Huge drama. Big nuke. I don't like this. Because, like... Actually, I do like this because now I have a title already. You know what I mean? Thank you. How should they respond? Dude, I don't even fucking know. I don't even know. What I do know is while Pootie Poo is talking about fucking how he's going to potentially nuke Ukraine. Okay. Zelensky earlier today stated that he's not going to deal with Vladimir Putin. Like, he's not going to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. And the thing that I have seen so consistently from the Ukrainian side, for some weird fucking reason, is that they can't just take the fucking W and then be like, all right, let's meet you at the table while we're winning. I don't know why they get W's, right? And it's fucking great. And it's like they're winning back territories, okay? And then they immediately go, okay, now we're never going to deal with you ever again. Fuck you. And that, in and of itself, is insane if you want a ceasefire to occur. Like, I do not understand what the tactical decision is when you're fucking dicking down and having Russian forces retreat. Why negotiate when you're winning? To have an upper hand. What the fuck do you mean? To get some level of, to be able to literally continue having a conversation at least, even if you're not going to get the absolute fucking ceasefire and the final treaty, the best thing you can do in this situation is to like literally get in a fucking, get at the table again and have conversations started again. At the very worst, you're going to get a shitty deal, which you can point to and say, hey, that's the shitty deal that you gave us back then. Even if you continue winning after that and you continue dicking down Russian forces after that, you could just go back and be like, well, that was a shittier deal. We have better leverage now. We have better bargaining power now. There is no way that you shouldn't try to get to the table at every stage of this. If you want this war to end. Stop writing Ukraine has nukes too. No, it doesn't. Shut the fuck up. They foolishly gave them back, okay? That guy wrote Ukraine has nukes too like 11 times in the chat. Their goal now is to return all territory. No shitty deal. Okay, but what about you stick to your line and not talk about bigger stuff? Here we go. We don't care. Let them boom the entirety. We never cared, and it's never happened. Here we go. Here we go. What? What about you stick to your line and not talk about bigger stuff? Are you talking to me? Does Ukraine have nukes now? Am I wrong about that too? Ukraine fell into the rookie hole. They failed to follow through on the Hasan doctrine. Don't give up the nukes. It's always nostalgic watching people who are essentially political children react to their first national war they're emotionally involved with, not going the way they wanted to. The idea of negotiating with the perceived bad side makes their blood boil. I respect the naivete. Dude, that every war ends. Okay? Every fucking war ends. Every war ultimately ends. Doesn't matter if one side nukes the other side. Doesn't matter if the other side fucking rolls over the forces and win back all their territories. Or it doesn't matter if it ends with a fucking ceasefire. All wars end. And the only thing that is consistent in the end of that war is that there's a treaty signed. Okay? So if that's the final goal, then try to get to that when you have an upper hand as best as you can. Ukraine does have nukes. I don't know how you're so confident, so wrong. If you knew better, you just run the ad break instead of fuck you! No ad break debates while I'm talking about Russia, Ukraine. I'm too susceptible to fucking getting trolled. That's cheap. That's cheap. That's cheap. That's cheap. That's fucking cheap. You're cheap. You're a cheap person. How did you fall for that? Because anyone that says anything in the chat about like Russia, Ukraine, I'm going to read it. A couple months ago, Zelensky was down to push the conversation of Crimea 15 years into the future. Okay? Straight up, in the Antalya conversations that they had, and the talks that they had in Turkey, Zelensky's people and Putin's people negotiated a 15-point conditional surrender. Okay? Pro tips? Whenever I see an emo from some like random fucking people that I've never seen in my chat, I'm like, I don't even know why I just read that. Anyway, top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. I'm going to run the fucking ad break right now. God damn it. Can't survive nukes, but you can survive the top of the hour ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. Chatter means Hasan doctrine is a bro tip. Yeah, no. Chatter's being a fucking old, washed, neck-bearded weirdo loser. Anyway. The 60-second ad break is upon us. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. Nuke is for boomers. Where is Nuke 2? Ukraine can negotiate a cease for after their Kherson offensive slows down. I don't think that they're, I mean, hopefully, yes. But why is Zelensky coming out and saying, I will not talk to any Russian official unless Vladimir Putin is no longer the leader of Russia? It's an insane thing. He's like, regime change must happen in Russia. He said earlier today that regime change must happen in Russia before Ukraine will negotiate with Russia. And it's not like you're winning, man. I mean, you won territories back, right? But that's crazy. People saying based don't realize you saw the babushkas. You saw the fucking babushkas yesterday saying, we take off one hat and we put on another hat. They're beating us from both sides. Ukrainian militias beat us. Then the Russians come in and then they beat us and they kill us. We're the ones who are getting fucked over in the middle. You want to stop that. That's the main goal. So the people do not suffer any longer. And if that's your main goal, and since this war is currently happening on Ukrainian soil, inside of Ukrainian territories, the goal is to stop that from happening. The goal is to stop the bloodshed of Ukrainian people. Like, I get why America is like, no, keep fighting, keep fighting. You know, we'll just give you weapons. Keep fighting. Okay? I get why America says that, because they get to make money. I understand why America doesn't give a shit about the end of this war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky signed a decree stating that talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin over Ukraine's fate would be impossible. Yeah. We are ready for a dialogue with Russia, but with another president of Russia. This comes as Ukraine's military continues to claim battlefield victories in the east. Ukraine's military is advancing towards the Russian-held Luhansk region after its troops recaptured the city of Liman on Saturday. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces reportedly took territory along the Dnieper River in the south on Monday. It's like under Saddam, if they took over like some Iraqi territory back from the American military or something, and then Saddam was like, I'm not going to talk to you guys unless America is no longer, unless George W. Bush is resigned. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, what do you mean? They're still... And for the record, it's not like we want that to end either. Breaking news, Biden administration confirms new $625 million package of weapons for Ukraine, which includes 4 HIMARS launchers and ammo, 1,655 millimeter howitzers, 75,000 155 millimeter artillery rounds, 500 precision-guided 155 millimeter artillery rounds, 1,155 millimeter rounds of remote anti-armor mine systems, RAM systems. This is not ironic. This person posted this because he thinks this is dope. Jesus Christ. 1,105 millimeter howitzers, 30,120 millimeter mortar rounds, Max Pro mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles, 200,000 rounds of small arms ammunition, obstacle emplacement equipment, Claymore anti-personnel munitions, and field equipment. I'll fight to the last Ukrainian from my Brooklyn apartment. Yeah, that's what it is for the most part. Ukraine hopefully gets the A-10 as well, sooner than later. Another interesting to note in terms of Ukraine's peace dealings with Russia, the Ukrainian military has grown extremely powerful in the past months, and it was already very powerful before that. So even if they wanted to negotiate, it's debatable whether the dozens of paramilitaries armed with U.S. weapons would even want to heed to peace talks without gaining all territory, Hasan. I know I made this assessment early on, saying that these guys are going to have a profound amount of power as they scream bloody murder, understandably, and that's going to make it harder for Zelensky to genuinely control the conversation. Zelensky approved the decision of the National Security Council of Ukraine on the impossibility of holding negotiations with Putin. Why go to the negotiation table when you're pushing them back? Because that's when you have leverage. That's when you have leverage. Even if the peace talks go nowhere, that's when you have fucking leverage. If you try to do a peace talk, well, they're winning. Then they're gonna fucking own you in the peace conversations. And if like the main goal here is to what? Further destabilize Russia? I mean, here's what the real reason why this is happening, right? Other than the fact that America doesn't really give a shit. They want to keep selling weapons. The main tactical purpose for something like this, and I think it's a misstep, but the tactical purpose of something like this is to say, look, your people don't want to fight this war. You're trying to force them into the front lines. They don't want to go there. There's a lot of instability happening in your country. We're going to take advantage of that instability and try to push for a regime change from within. Right? That's the main reason. They're saying, oh, well, I guess like we can talk when there's regime change. Fine, great, but doing that in a country where the government has the strongest grip over the media and an incredibly strong grip over its own citizens, beating the shit out of them and like literally forcing them to become conscripts when they are unironically protesting conscription, it's not gonna happen unless you already have a dog in there inside the Duma that you trust, that is not also compromised by Vladimir Putin. Another side that it's basically impossible for Putin to sell any sort of peace treaty since their internal media propaganda has stressed that they won't negotiate with Nazis, meaning it could be the end of Putin one way or another. No, that's just bullshit. If they're that fucking strong in propagandizing, they could just say, you know what, we actually destroyed all the fucking Nazis in Azovstal, and we took all the fucking POWs, and that was a major dub for us denazifying Ukraine, and now we're actually coming to the fucking table. And yeah, that's just, you're just describing like they're very good at manufacturing consent, and then assuming that you're not, assuming that they can't manufacture the consent in the opposing way, which they can. And then they released the Azovstal prisoners, some of them. Putin is not someone you can negotiate with. Oh, Faustini's back. Let's hear what he has to say. I know it's going to be riveting. Putin is not someone you can negotiate with. It's like saying Stalin should have negotiated with Hitler after winning the Battle of Kursk. Ukraine can militarily take these lands back, and the Ukrainians are willing to wage this fight, and we're willing to arm and fund the fight. What is the problem? Russia can figure out its own shit. Also, send Snowden to the Donbass. If you can't negotiate with Putin, then what's going to happen when he nukes a part of fucking Ukraine? Because the main thing that a lot of people forget is that, like, Hitler didn't have nukes. If Hitler had nukes, we'd be speaking German, motherfucker. The fuck do you mean? By the way, Zelensky saying this is irrelevant because we don't even know if fucking Putin is down to negotiate at this point. You know what I mean? So that's the other part of this process. And he very well might say, no, fuck that. I'm not negotiating. I speak German, idiot. You're being insensitive. Talk about Viktor Orban. Stupid as fuck. That sentence was stupid as fuck. If Hitler had nukes, we'd all be speaking German. If Hitler won the nuclear arms race before it even like became a thing, okay, you think they wouldn't have deployed it? What the fuck? What are you, crazy? They were literally waging blitzkrieg. Especially after the most he said on the matter is actually 15% of your country is mine. I don't think Putin is a rational actor, and yeah, he's delusional, so I doubt he's down to negotiate. He's refused to talk to Zelensky at the start of the war. No, that's not true. They have negotiated. And I'm pretty sure the Russian side would negotiate because they just want LPR and DPR, and that's it. And they already took it. Problem is now, they're not going to fucking negotiate on the annexed regions and claim that that area is theirs. And I think the other reason why Zelensky is saying this is because they think they can get more victories in LPR and DPR. We're not even talking about Crimea. Please. Zelensky literally fucking 3 months ago or 4 months ago already said, we'll talk about Crimea 15 years down the line. Why do you think he decided to push the Crimea conversation 15 years into the future? Because he knew that it was not going to be a fucking thing. Only LPR and DPR, Putin wanted the whole fucking Ukraine? Yeah, and guess what happened when he wanted the entirety of Ukraine? He got fucking cumstered. That wasn't going to happen. And it hasn't happened. I love, if you back down and appease because of nukes, then you just allow nuclear powers to be imperialistic and just threaten nukes the whole world. Well, just, guess you have to give them land. Appeasement does not work. No, wait, what? No, that is exactly how this works. What? No, that's literally what Russia's nuclear power or nuclear arsenal is. What? Why do you think they have nukes? Why do you think we talk about nukes ever? Why do you think they didn't do Article 5? Why do you think Ukraine is not a part of NATO? Why do you think America is not literally currently long-dicking Russian troops in LPR and DPR? That's straight up the main reason is nukes. Mutually assured destruction. The moment that a NATO force fights and dies in the hands of a fucking Russian military member, all of a sudden you just launched all-out war. And when all-out war launches, nukes start launching. I love you, Hasan. I agree with 99.9% of what you say, but some of your Ukraine takes are dog shit. What? Like, what Ukraine take have I made thus far that you consider to be dog shit? We're in the midst of the most unexpected and remarkable military performance in history. I'm not without apprehensions, but the end that we have in sight of free Ukraine with its 1991 borders is more than worth all the means. My belief in judgment says Ukraine should need the press on. All I'm hearing from motherfuckers who live in West Palm Beach like Faustini is a whole lot of fucking Twitter fingers and not a whole lot of like dying. You know what I mean? It's just we're Americans having this fucking conversation like, appraising this, like using poetic terminology to describe what's going on. Meanwhile, babushkas are getting fucking their shit pushed in no matter what happens. Anyway. Your Crimea take is dog shit, is all obfuscation and justifying takeover instead of simply saying the invasion was bad. I'm not going to rehash my Crimea takes. I don't give a fuck if you don't like it. Okay, there you go. I've already had this conversation many times. I do also consider other Ukrainian territories to be in an entirely different perspective, in an entirely different place, with entirely different historical precedents. I think that the push of the relocation and displacement of thousands of people and the ongoing war in LPR and DPR, okay, is a separate conversation than Crimea, considering not a single fucking shot was fired when Crimea was taken, okay? That's the difference. The entire military base that they have in Sevastopol had 75% of the fucking military members join the Russian military immediately after Crimea was annexed. That has not happened in front of your eyes. So why do you consider those two things to be identical? You are trying to bring that into this conversation because you want to have an argument. You want to have an argument. You don't want to actually like come up with what the possible alternatives are here. Okay? Now, I don't even know if Russia will use nukes. I'm saying that I am worried about what I've seen in the media from people who are more knowledgeable about Russia's nuclear capabilities saying, oh, if they use nukes, it's going to be a baby nuke. Which is a terrifying thing that we saw over and over again over the past couple of days by American State Department officials saying, if they use a nuke, they're just going to nuke a part of Ukraine with a baby nuke. Which is a wild take because that's still a fucking nuke, okay? So I don't know why they are so callous with the way that they're talking about it. It almost feels like they're downplaying what they perceive to be like inevitable or something. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. And by the way, these are not my words. These are the words that we have seen. These are the words that we've heard from State Department officials over the course of the past couple of days.
Now, a senior U.S. defense official telling ABC News a new $600+ million military aid package is expected to be announced today. The official saying recent attacks by Ukrainian forces around Herschel in the south have forced the Russians into a defensive position. And amid all the setbacks, a stunning new admission from the Kremlin. They don't even know where the borders of their newly claimed lands are.
People get their opinions of Crimea take from other content creators. That's why they bring it up all the time. Motherfuckers have zero nuance. Yeah, I know. It just doesn't matter. But the other content creators themselves, for some weird fucking reason, have just taken an antagonistic approach or something without personally looking into it themselves. All I'm stating is there's a difference between what happened in Crimea and what's going on in Ukraine currently. And that difference should at least have you question, like, why? The amount of fucking bodies that have been stacked in the Donbass, okay, over the course, since 2014, over the course of the past fucking 2 decades almost. And the ongoing war right now should show you that the annexation of LPR and DPR are entirely different than straight up the annexation of Crimea.
Are now. Well, perhaps that's because those areas of Russian control is now shrinking so fast. And after that stunning announcement...
So much worse. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's a major difference between what's going on right now and what happened in 2014. That is quite literally the main take here, the main takeaway here.
Control.
And not only that, real life lore covered this shit perfectly. Yeah, we covered it in the beginning. Yes. I was watching a clip from Virtual, the Trackmania guy on YouTube that featured you, and the comments were absolutely lit up hating on you for your takes on this conflict over stuff you've literally never said, calling you a massive tanky. Shit was wild. Yes, because people are not in the business of like trying to understand what I have to say. People are in the business of like repeating what their fucking favorite content creator has to say about me. I mean, you guys probably engage in it in a similar way. You have to understand that that's the main reason why people do this, okay? There's a reason why I'm not fucking banned or getting money from the Russian government or appearing on Russia Today regularly like the other people that got banned from every single social media platform, which we can question the ethics of if you want, but that's not what I'm here to do, okay? Because I'm not pro-Russia. Virtual likes you, though. He says you saying this guy's Sigma as fuck as his sub sound. I know, but that's how propaganda works, okay? I've literally raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for Ukrainian refugees. It's fucking idiotic. Not a single one of those haters will ever in a million years allow you to even bring that shit up because they're going to be like, it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because you're just trying to lie. That's it. You're saying I'm fucking pro-Putin. You've been saying I'm pro-Putin from the jump.
Well, perhaps that's because those areas of Russian control is now shrinking so fast. And after that stunning announcement by Putin that he was claiming whole regions of Ukraine as now part of Russia, President Zelensky this morning signing a presidential decree declaring the impossibility of holding any kind of negotiations with Russia's President Vladimir Putin. George?
Ian, panel, thanks. Let's bring in our military analyst, Stephen Ganyard. And Steve, you just heard Ian use the word stunning a couple times right there. What do you make of the significance of this Ukrainian advance?
It is stunning, George, because these are the areas that the Russians had prioritized, meaning that, remember, they had brought troops down from the north and reinforced in the south. The entranceways, or the areas that leading into the Donbas, or leading towards Crimea, are critically important for the Russians, because if they lose Crimea, Putin will fall, and we know that Putin will not give up power easily, which is why the U.S. is so concerned about his use of nuclear weapons.
Steve, I know you're clearing your throat right there. In these areas, it doesn't feel like a strategic retreat from Russia. It feels a little bit more like a rout. Can Putin turn things around?
He can't, George. They're pulling conscripts off the street. They're putting them right into the front lines. And the systemic failures of the Russian military mean that they're going to be doing no better than the armies that they've done.
Wait, why do you think Zelensky's not in favor of negotiating while they're in a position of power? Because they just said that Zelensky said earlier today they signed a decree saying that they're not going to negotiate with Russia until the regime change happens in Russia. You remind me of Rush Limbaugh. Less cancer, though, I hope. As a Ukrainian, I don't think you're pro-Putin necessarily. I just think your lack of having Ukrainian sources info back in 2014, 2015 has clouded your judgment, and you should somewhat recognize it. I mean, give Crimea back to the Tatars and the Turks by way of, if you want true justice to occur in Crimea, okay? I said this from the jump. Parents are not funny. It was pretty funny when Rush Limbaugh got it, I'll be honest. No, it doesn't belong to Greece. It belongs to the Turks. Crimea belongs to the Turks.
In the past, so it's very difficult for Putin. But there's also an interesting dichotomy here. Putin's political strategy is to hold these four areas, and in doing so, he has strung out his military, made them vulnerable to the Ukrainians. So, in a sense, what the military ought to be doing is falling back, consolidating on defensive positions. But his political strategy is undermining his military strategy, weakening his military, and leading to these big gains by the Ukrainians in the south.
And meantime, any sense of why North Korea is launching all these missiles right now?
Yeah, Kim Jong-un doesn't like to be out of the spotlight, so...
If you think the Crimean referendum is legitimate, then you would have to believe the recent one's also. Abso-fucking-lutely not. The terms and conditions of the Crimean referendum, which was still under annexation, were backed up by prior sympathy towards Russia and also post-referendum Crimean existence. I've never just said, oh, the Crimean referendum was legit. Like, I never just pointed to the Crimean referendum and went, well, it must be legit. Like, that's why it's wildly different. As a Ukrainian, I agree with your take, not with the Turkish part. It's not like they were like, all right, we did it. Crimea fucking voted one time and then it's over. Like the opinions, especially prior to the invasion, especially prior to 2014 and before this invasion as well, the opinion of Ukrainians living in eastern regions, like the further east you went in Ukraine, the more pro-Russia they got. That doesn't mean that they should be a part of Russia. I'm not saying that at all. But Crimea is in a unique space specifically because of the Russian military base that was already positioned there, that was literally there. Like that was there was a major military base that was right there. And how Russian sentiment existed in Crimea to a degree that it did not exist anywhere else. Actual whataboutism in chat trying to slip up our streamer. How have you consistently put up with this shit for 4 years? Also, Ukraine literally turned around and shut off waterways into Crimea. Water that was redirected and built, waterways that were built under the USSR. One of the first things, oh, and by the way, that is a genuine, regardless of my position on this, and I am on the side of Ukrainians in this conflict, that is a human rights violation, a human rights abuse. It's completely unacceptable, like unequivocally wrong to do that. See, like you say, why can't Russia supply their own people with water? Brother, I don't think you understand how this works. That's not how water works. What the fuck do you mean, dude? Why do you guys turn into like bloodthirsty genocidal motherfuckers the moment that you're thinking about, the moment that you like have an ideological stake in this fight for some fucking weird reason? That's a crazy ass thing to say.
He has gone back to a missile that we've seen before, 8 times before, the Hwasong missile, about 2,300 miles with a nuclear weapon, could reach Guam, but maybe not Australia. But remember that North Korea's best client is Tehran, and so this is plenty of range to go from Tehran to, say, Tel Aviv or Riyadh. And so in that sense, what's happening in Asia is being watched in Tehran and Riyadh and Tel Aviv.
It's all connected. Okay, Steve Ganyard, thanks very much.
Well, hey there.
Oh my God. These are the same type of chatters that hate anyone with ethnically Russian in their country. Yeah, it's wild. I don't give a fuck about the Russian military or Vladimir Putin or the Ukrainian military or Zelensky. I care about the actual fucking people that are suffering in this circumstance. In all instances of war, if you have an anti-war position, you don't have an anti-war position because it's ideologically sound for you to be anti-war for one particular reason or the other. Okay? There's no such thing as a good war. Okay? All war is across the board bad. Obviously, no war but class war. But you understand what I'm saying. Like actual warfare in the way that we understand it, in the way that it's conducted, boots on the ground, military warfare, drones, bombs blowing up. This shit is horrifying for the individuals that live through it. What if the people who are suffering are okay with suffering for justice? I don't think... I think ultimately, no matter what people say, if you have an opportunity to reduce the suffering, a good leader should do that. Okay? Andrew Tate went on
Andrew
Piers
Tate.
Morgan. What the fuck? You're catching strays in the offline TV
How
highlight
Harry
reels now?
is the person.
Oh, Harry.
Oh my god.
Honestly, this was pretty easy.
And now we see how hairy we think he is.
Celine has been killed in the process.
She dead.
I've met Hasan.
No one at 100?
He's not 100%
That
Harry.
Harry.
Not 100% Harry.
Yes!
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't even
That's messed up, bro.
have to be like during sex. It could be like something that gets you like hyped up for sex.
Poggers, let's go! That's my phrase before I go straight in there.
Poggers. She means poggers. She be thinking.
Get fucked. You said poggers, segs time. Let's go. It be our own dogs sometimes, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have this shit. Motherfuckers be pro-bomb in the Middle East and ask why so many people in the region get radicalized. Yeah. What? You're talking about the short term, Hasan Abi. What about the long term? If Ukraine could take over Russia, then Russia would be a capitalist country too, which is good. Then the market decide how good the people are allowed to be. What? That's definitely a bait, right? That's really good bait, actually. Yeah. It's about time Russia went capitalist after the Ukrainian invasion of Russia. That was good. That was very good. You know, Russia currently not capitalist Russia. Also, breaking news, Elon Musk is proposing to buy Twitter for the original offer price of $54.20 a share, according to the people familiar with the matter. Musk made the proposal in a letter to Twitter, according to people familiar with the matter, who asked not to be identified, discussing confidential information. Shares in Twitter climbed up as much as 18% on the news after trading was briefly halted. Inside Twitter, many employees were sitting through the 2023 planning presentations when the news first started to circulate, according to multiple sources. Presenters did not acknowledge the news, which staffers saw spreading on their own social network. Elon Musk confirmed his plan to proceed with a $44 billion purchase of Twitter. Read Elon Musk's letter to Twitter. He said, "Gentlemen, on behalf of X Holdings I, Inc., X Holdings II, Inc., and Elon R. Musk, the Musk parties, we write to notify you that the Musk parties intend to proceed the closing of the transaction contemplated by the April 25th, 2020 merger agreement." Damn, dude. They literally bullied his ass in the court of law to just go out and buy this insanely inflated fucking stock. That's awesome. That's a $44 billion L for Elon. That's fire. Musk fucked around. We love to see it. What a fucking silly Billy. Oh, man. So they're down on the terms of the subject conditions set forth therein and pending receipt of the proceeds of the debt financing contemplated thereby, provided the Delaware Chancery Court enter an immediate stay of the action, Twitter versus Musk, and adjourn the trial and all of the proceedings related to thereto pending such closing or further order to the court. That's crazy. Are you saying he bought it with inflated stocks? No. Well, first of all, technically, yes, because he did put down a stake in Tesla to be able to get the $4 billion loan. So technically, yes, he did buy it with inflated stocks, but because all Tesla stock is inflated, but also, having said that, the price point that he gave, the $54 stock price, is insanely high. It had to be so fucking high that it was irresponsible and illegal for the board not to go along with it, because they have a vested interest. They have a fiduciary responsibility to ensure that shareholders, get the best possible deal. And that is the reason why his deal was so fucking high. Like, he came in with an insanely fucking high price, insanely high stock price. It was a 10 to 15% premium at the time. It was 50-50 whether the board would agree or not. No, but it was high enough that if they said no, that would put them in jeopardy. And now he's offering to buy it if the court adjourns, as in Twitter stops going after him. Twitter can say fuck him, sue him for billions, and retain control. No, I don't think they can. Because the entire purpose of the court case is to force him to buy. What do you mean how? No. The entire court case that he's trying to stop is literally a court case over whether or not Elon Musk is forced to purchase Twitter. But I do think that Elon Musk should unban, once he becomes God King of Twitter, he should probably unban Donald Trump. I think that would be cool. It's weird. Wait, did he already sign a contract? How can they force him to buy it? Well, they can force you to fucking follow through on the conditions of the contract. It's not like you're buying a fucking like a piece of chocolate, dude. You're buying a $44 billion company. So there are conditions of that purchase. Like, for example, if you don't buy the company after you said you were going to buy it, and and once you waived the main reasons as to why you could not buy the company, okay, then you have to pay a penalty, like $1 billion. Stock price went up so high that they halted it right after he came out with this. Gonna miss being able to tweet this. Oh my God, you're done, Ken. chatters are probably not understanding that Elon signed a contract agreeing to buy Twitter shares for a certain price from everyone that had them. He didn't just walk into a boardroom and buy some servers. Yes. Unless there was like very deliberate errors in Twitter's reporting about like what level of bot activity was happening, more than the percentage that they said was happening, that actually harmed their revenue, like that actually made it so that their revenue growth was a lie. You know what I mean? What the fuck? What is this? Elon, if you have women like this on Mars, sign me up. Buying Twitter is an accelerant to creating X, the everything app. The bot argument doesn't make sense because he waived his due diligence. I think you can still make an argument that that Twitter, I'm pretty sure you can still make an argument that Twitter didn't need to deliberately hide stuff. Any material adverse info can take a merger agreement. Like, if it came out that it was like Twitter had reported, I think it was like 5 to 10% or something was bot traffic, and if that doesn't touch the revenue at all or revenue growth at all, then it's not important. But if it came out that it was like, I don't know, fucking 90% of the platform was bots, and it actually had an adverse effect on revenue growth on the platform, you could prove it. Then I'm pretty sure you could at least make a case to why you don't want to purchase the company, even though you originally waived your due diligence. No, the bot thing happens before you sign the contract to buy. It's up to months to do his due diligence and confirm that. If he doesn't do that, for him to sign the contract that he bought the company, there's a reason you don't waive due diligence like that. Fucking dumb as shit. Why do you think he's just buying it anyway now? No, he knew the bot data beforehand. No, I know he knew the bot data. But there's still, like, Twitter could have hid or lied about the bot data or its impact on revenue. Anyway. The challenge wasn't backing out of the deal. It was about being forced to pay the breakup agreement. Material adverse effect usually deals with events occurring when companies are merging. You sign shit. One company gets investigated by the FBI for random fraud. That is a material adverse effect. Twitter did say that the percentage of bot traffic could be higher than they said it is, though. Anyway, what we know now is that Elon Musk is forced to fucking purchase and close the deal, purchasing Twitter at $54.20 a share. And now he's doing the I'm not actually owned, even though I literally went to court to not buy Twitter. I'm not actually owned. This is an accelerant to creating X, the everything app. I mean, he's a con man. He's moving on to the next con. He took an L, and he's trying to recover that L. He's trying to turn that L into a W. You know what I'm saying? Trying to turn an L into an X. Why are all your recommended tweets all porn? That's not a recommended tweet. That was a reply. Anyway, here's a protester getting arrested.
I'm doing this for my son. The government's inaction on climate change is a death sentence to us all. The United Nations have said we should have no new oil. Liz Truss wants to open 130 new oil licenses. That's a death sentence to this planet. I'm doing this for...
It's so sick.
For my son.
I forgive her for being British. How honorable of you. I respect that. Didn't know Russians spoke British? What are you saying? Wow, they're British in Russia? What the fuck? Andrew Tate defends himself against Piers Morgan.
It's the most famous man you've probably never heard of, but the chances are your children will have. Videos of Tate have been viewed billions of times online. He's built an enormous following of mostly young men, and his often scandalous views about women that have made him notorious across the world. Views like this.
So I think my sister is her husband's property, yes. When a bride is walking
Oh
down the
my
aisle
God.
with the groom, the father walks next to her and gives her away. True or false?
Tate's opinions on mental illness are equally controversial.
I don't believe in depression. Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them.
Well, this summer, every major social media platform banned Tate amid a global backlash and concerns about his influence on the young people who watch him. But copies of his videos are still shared millions of times every day. This show is called Uncensored. One of the
This is yet another instance of Piers Morgan finding someone worse than him to somehow keep up appearances that he is not the worst human being alive. Okay? It's just like, this is a thing that Piers does, okay? For those of you who don't know, he does this shit all the fucking time, chat. This is a classic Piers Morgan moment. He always does this shit. That's why one of his most famous clips of him, like, dunking on a Republican from America about gun laws. You know what I mean? I can't believe I almost debated him. I was so... God, I really fucking took a big L. You know, I was supposed to go on his show. For those of you who don't know, I was supposed to go on a show when I was in England, and I'm sure we could still do it. Like, he is a demon when it comes to media shit. So, yeah, but I was in Amsterdam by that point, so I was like, I'm not gonna go back. You know.
challenges views directly. So he flew from Romania to sit here in this studio, and the full explosive interview airs later this week. Here's a bit of what's to come. Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people. That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Well, it's not really, is it?
I can't.
You know why I'm asking you?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and
say... For
say...
the benefit of viewers who don't know why I'm asking, you said this. In general, this is also one of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right effing now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. People say, oh, you can't say that, but yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up. That is misogyny.
Why?
Because you are encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds, and having effectively been having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
That would, well, firstly, even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
But what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women. I'm
You know he's going to hit you with a 9/11 clip and the Dan Crenshaw clip right off the bat when you go on, though. Bitch, how many times have I addressed it? You think I'm embarrassed by those clips? Yeah, play my highlights, bitch. If Piers Morgan came up to me and played the 9/11 clips, I'd be like, damn, I was popping off. That's cool. Thank you. Play it one more time. I'd be like, play it one more time, Piers. Play the greatest hits one more time. What, you think the Oibrovs in the UK are going to give a shit? No. The video that he would play would be probably me dancing when the Queen died. That would actually be, not great. If he played that one, the Oibrovs would not like me, okay? They love the Queen. They would not like me. What? Transphobia also? What do you mean? What? First of all, good luck finding a clip where I'm transphobic, okay? But then, if he found a clip of me being transphobic, okay? What are you? Is he doing promotion for me? We're in England. You know what I mean? If he played like a 10-year-old clip of me being transphobic, what is he doing? Is he trying to promote me to the British? Is that what he's doing? Because, you know what I mean? Like, they would literally give me a citizenship and probably turn me into a lord instantaneously on the spot. Damn, bro. That's crazy. You probably found the old Lady Gaga joke. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They would see that and go, wow, that's brilliant. Thank you. We thought you were woke. SJW. We have found out now that you are actually British. Just like Boris Johnson, we have decided another Turk. We've decided that yet another Turk should be the new Premier, Prime Minister, Leader, Lord. All of the above of the UK.
I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Pretty anti-25-year-old woman.
Anti-25-year-old women we can argue, but not misogyny.
Well, that's misogyny then, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Well, being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
Not when I'm saying that women are beautiful and attractive at a certain age and saying the age.
You're saying 18, 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25.
Well, than ageist perhaps, but misogyny.
Dude, what? Dude, this is like a fucking 1-year-old, dude. This is the argument that a 4-year-old would put forward. No, I'm saying that some women are hot when they're 18, 19. But then, because the female's body is all that matters, like an object of desire, right? I'm saying that they no longer have any worth after the fact that they're, 19. Once they're no longer 19, I personally believe they're no longer beautiful. And therefore, they're no longer actually hot and serve a purpose. Which, of course, is very different than misogyny. If I was a misogynist, I'd say 18-year-old chicks are also not hot. Yeah, no, that's misogyny. You're describing being misogynistic while claiming that is somehow absolving you of the misogyny allegations. You know what I mean?
Misogynistic, absolutely
Is that
not.
but you just accepted it was misogyny.
No, I didn't. You said it was misogyny. I'm telling you, no, it's not.
If a 26-year-old woman is watching this and has heard those comments, would you just say to her, look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that?
No, I won't. I will say that I am sorry that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world.
That doesn't mean you're sorry.
No, I'm not sorry.
Dude, he's such a piece of shit. Sorry that offends you, but a lot of people agree with me.
The point I'm making. I'm sorry if that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world that believe that, and I was mediating for a conversation.
Parts of the world that believe that about 26-year-old women are parts of the world where women are not allowed out on their own.
That's a conversation.
They have to wear full burqas.
Well, that's a conversation.
They're not allowed to drive cars.
That's nothing to do with me.
But is that the kind of world for a woman that you?
I was mediating a conversation.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
I don't live in a country where that happens.
You're using that as the excuse for why you're not sorry for saying it.
It's not an excuse.
Is that there are parts of the world where this is fine.
My friend.
So my question to you is, well, do you think it's fine?
By the way, famously, you know, the kinds of misogynistic things that Andrew Tate, a product of the United States of America and the UK, came up with, those parts of the world don't have, different ways of shitting on women, of course. Only Saudi Arabia. Like, I get trying to fucking, make a point that is going to look bad for Andrew Tate with your fucking Islamophobic-ass audience. But it's wild when motherfuckers in misogynistic countries engaging in misogyny will be like, well, this is just like the Taliban. You know what I mean? It was really funny when I saw all those Supreme Court justice memes where people in America being ruled by evangelical white Protestant Christian psychopaths were like, this is just like the Taliban. Bro, you're pointing to your thing. No, it's just like us. We do it too.
I don't think it's fine. I live in a world where...
You don't think it's fine?
The reason
This isn't that hard, Andrew. You can simply say, Piers, you know what? With the benefit of hindsight, I wish I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching, I'm sorry I said that, because that actually is blatantly misogynist. And even though that's a view held by other parts of the world, it's not a view I share. Now, I would respect you more if you said that than if you try and say, well, it's said in other parts of the world, so I'm not sorry.
I think
that doesn't tell me what you think.
Then you need to understand why my content existed in the first place. My content existed because I tried...
It's so funny to see him talk about it in the past tense. I'm sorry, but come on.
My very hardest to be an absolute and utter realist, especially with uncomfortable truths. I was pointing out that very uncomfortable...
Is that a truth?
It's an uncomfortable truth in many parts of the world. It's not a truth that I'm happy about.
An inquest this week found that a 14-year-old girl, Molly Russell, died from an act of self-harm while suffering from depression and the negative effects of online content. The coroner said she was exposed to material that may have influenced her in a negative way, and in addition, what started as depression had become a much more serious depressive illness, and she's very sadly took her life.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Right. Her father...
It's terrible.
Her father's campaign for better protections against potentially dangerous social media algorithms, right? It says that the particularly graphic content she saw romanticized acts of self-harm, normalized her condition, and focused on a limited and irrational view without any counterbalance of normality. First of all, what is your response to that? Nothing to do with you.
Well, this really is Piers Morgan's new show. You think I'm bad? Exactly. No, this is what he's doing. His new show is like, if you think I'm bad, well, look at my guests. They're significantly worse. Remember, things can be much, much worse.
That's the first thing. Yeah, it is nothing to do with me. The fact that a 14-year-old girl took her life is truly sad. The world we live in today is... The fact that something like that happened is almost mind-blowing to me. That's truly sad. I actually feel sad inside to see something like that.
What has come clear to me in the interview is that a lot of things you say you wouldn't say now that you've said before.
I'd say them differently, perhaps.
Yeah, right. So to me, that's an acceptance, not just that you want to get back on platforms, because maybe that was one of the reasons you were no platform, but that you've recognized and understood the potential harm to the wrong kind of impressionable mind by some of the things you've said. Would that be fair?
I think that's 80% fair. I recognize and understand that with massive fame...
He's like, yeah, I recognize that I got banned, okay? Which was bad. Even though I lied and played it off like it was a part of the plan, it was not good. I took a big L on that, okay? And can't make money anymore from my multi-level marketing schemes, which is why I probably should have worded it differently.
You have to be more careful about being misconstrued. Like I said earlier, 1% of people misunderstanding you doesn't matter with a small audience. It matters with a very large audience. With power comes responsibility. I still believe the things I say. I do not want to be a negative force for the world. I also understand that I am a man who's lived a very difficult, nuanced life, and I am capable of making nuanced points that may be misunderstood.
Dude, Andrew Tate was such a perfect debate victim for me. God, he's so bad. That's why Piers Morgan is like suckling on his bones right now. You know what I mean? He was such a, like, oh man, I wish I could have duked it out with him one more time. Why are we platforming bald people? Listen. Sometimes you got to do that. Genuine question, why do you find Tate so fascinating? I love con men. The fuck do you mean? I love bigoted con men. If you've been watching me for a long enough time, you've probably seen this. You probably know that at the top of the hour, there's a 6-second ad break. And you probably know that I love watching con men, especially bigoted con men. Okay? It's my favorite thing. And of course, another thing that I like is for you not to watch the ads. Which, of course, you know, you can avoid the top of the hour ad break, which is coming right now, by subscribing for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. You can also get gifted a sub. If you're lucky. But yeah, we're platforming bald people because I love bald people. I love my balds. Pyramid schemes are so hot. Thank you, Banjo Paints, for the 5 get the subs. Don't think he believed anything he said, all a hustle. Yeah, I don't think so either. But listen, my point is, I look at grifters, sharks, charlatans of every different sort of bigoted variety. Okay? And Andrew Tate was basically the Ben Shapiro of misogyny. Right? So of course I was going to take a liking to him. And of course I was going to cover what he was saying, especially when he fucking blew up. No, Ben Shapiro is also the Ben Shapiro of misogyny, but like Andrew Tate is a different kind of. Bro, he rage quit you. No shot. He was coming for more. Mama 22110, thank you for the 10 of the subs. Olay na annen. Olay annen, okay? Hep beraber girdik abi. O olay. Hay götüne sokayım yani. Tövbe tövbe estağfurullah. Yani inanamıyorum abi ya. Giriyor. Olay ne abi? Olay ne abi? Mevzu ne abi? Özet geçsene. Geçmiyorum amına koyayım özet. Sana geçiyorum. Sonra da anana geçiriyorum. It's so weird. Turks coming into the chat being like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Come on, bro. Come on, give me a summary. What's going on? It's like, bro, you think it's just you and me? What is this? This article is about 6 days old at this point. I don't think I ever shared this. An internal memo from Dan Clancy was leaked by Business Insider. My favorite line. To that end, we ask that you refrain from contributing to the noise online via Twitter, Twitch, etc. I'm part of the hashtag Twitch noise. This article is about 6 days old at this point. If your Business Insider account is expired, you can check it out here. Come on, Zach Bussy. What the fuck? Okay. Leak memo shows what Twitch's president told staff as the platform changed the way it would pay top creators, sparking blowback in the streaming community. Twitch's recent changes to the way it pays top streamers have raised questions internally on top of the backlash the moves sparked from creators on social media. Insiders obtained an email that the platform's president Dan Clancy wrote to staffers about the move amid the update to Twitch's creator monetization terms that ignited a firestorm on social media last Wednesday. Real talk, Clancy wrote to staff on Wednesday. We know this announcement will garner significant attention from our community, both positive and negative. No, there was no positive. Why did he even think